see, life changes. That's something we can all depend on. Something that we can all relate on. Family tree, Lincoln Douglas debate on. No rebuttal when the facts get laid on. Please tell me, who is the liaison? Black, white, maybe even Asian. Doesn't matter if we all get the lesson. That no one's lesser. That no one's lesser. That no one is lesser. Y'all bless up. One.
Hola, bon dia. Bon dia. Good morning, everybody. Hello, please. You can kindly take a seat. Thank you very much for joining us here today. Okay, so hi. Welcome, everybody, to the TOURBIT Final Conference. We are going to be talking today about accelerating the digital uptake of tourism SMEs. Welcome to this event that has been organized in the framework of the Mobile World Congress and is, as I was saying, the final conference of the European project TOURBIT. I am Sandra de Puig. I'm EU Project Manager at the Catalan Tourism Board, and I'm going to be the Master of Ceremony of today's event. It is a pleasure to welcome you all here to this fantastic venue, which is Valkyria Hub Play Space, where we are going to be having this conference today for this morning. I would like also to welcome our online participants who are joining from different countries, ensuring this and reinforcing this European dimension that the TOURBIT project is. So thank you for joining virtually. Just some practicalities. As you know, there is the cloak room over here, so if you have any bag or coat, don't hesitate to leave it on your left. And during this conference, we're going to be sharing all the different insights through social media, so don't hesitate to use the hashtag TOURBIT Final Conference. So now, without further ado, I would like to give the floor to Narcís Ferrer, who is the Director of the Catalan Tourism Board. Please, Narcís.
Thank you, Sandra. Good morning, bon dia. Dear guests, dear TOURBIT partners, dear SMEs, beneficiaries of the Tourism Acceleration Program, dear TOURBIT service provider, dear colleagues and friends present here with us in Barcelona and joining us online from Belgium, Finland, France, Iceland, Portugal, and Slovenia. Thanks for being part of today's gathering. As you know, today we are celebrating the final conference of the TOURBIT project, an European project which started 2 years ago, in January of 2022, and which will finish this June this year. The TOURBIT project has addressed a matter of a strategic importance, the digital acceleration of the Tourism SMEs, and I would like to make on the instrumental role played by European funds, notably by the COSME and the Single Market Programme. As such, I wish to express our sincere appreciation of the European Commission through EISMEA for their invaluable support in launching these funds, enabling us to propel our vision for a digitally advanced European tourism sector. In the rapidly evolving landscape of the tourism industry, digitalization is not merely a choice. It is a strategic imperative. The integration of advanced digital technologies within our esteemed tourism SMEs enhance operational efficiency, expands market reach, and ensures sustained competitiveness. This strategic approach positions our business for a long-term resilience and growth. Imagine a future where small and medium-sized tourism enterprises smoothly connect with travelers using cutting-edge technologies, offering personalized experience while optimizing operational efficiency. The rapid pace of digitalization is not just a modern initiative. It's a vital catalyst for resilience and sustainability within the tourism sector. For that reason, we extend a special acknowledgement to the tourism SMEs. This conference is dedicated to you, for all those we have accompanied us over the past 2 years, participating in the various activities and especially for the 62 SMEs subsided by the project. Thanks to them, we have extremely valuable testimonials for other tourism SMEs by providing opportunities for learning from their experiences, inspiration, and expanding contexts. Public administration and business support organization by assisting them to understand the type of support needed from our end. Special recognition is also extended to the service providers, who are also beneficiaries of this project and indispensable actor for this digital transition. We need these collaborations to endure because the digital transition is an ongoing process. Let's shift our focus on the tangible impact of COSME and single market funds on the very entities steering our industry, the tourism SMEs. These funds serve as a pivotal instrumental for small and medium-sized enterprises within the tourism sector, facilitating access to funding. They empower SMEs to embrace digital technologies, invest in staff training, and innovate solutions. The collaborative nature of these funds encourages SMEs to engage in cross-border initiatives, fostering a network of innovation and best practices by strategically utilizing these funds. Tourism SMEs can not only navigate the challenge posed by the digital transformation, but emerge as leaders in an increasingly interconnected business landscape. I would like to extend our special thanks to the European Commission through EISMEA for their visionary role in launching these critical funds. Their commitment to fostering innovation and growth in the SME sector has not only empowered individual business, but has also collectively transformed the European tourism landscape. The strategic impact of this fund extends beyond financial support. They are integral to realization of the connected and strategic aligned European tourism industry. In conclusion, the strategic acceleration of digitalization in tourism SMEs is a key driver of growth and resilience. European funds, particularly COSME and the single market, are indispensable in translating this vision into reality, as we collectively work towards a digitally advanced and strategically aligned European tourism landscape. Let us leverage these funds strategically to empower our SMEs, fortify our industry, and pave the way for a future where innovation knows no boundaries. At ACT, ACT is Agència Catalana de Turisme or Catalan Tourist Board, we are extremely pleased to have led this project, which allows us to strengthen the initiative that we are already carrying out for the digitalization of the tourism sector. Thank you for attention. I wish you a productive session, and I am confident that the insights shared will benefit us all. Thank you. Muchas gracias.
Thank you very much, Narcís, for your encouraging words and for supporting us in the TOURBIT project along the whole life of this European project. So indeed, the TOURBIT partnership, which is composed by 8 organizations, has been working very hard during all these years in order to deliver meaningful impact and meaningful services for the tourism SMEs in the uptake of digitalization. And this is why I would like to invite you to the stage to Blanca Cros. She is the TOURBIT coordinator, and she's going to share with us a little bit more what are the contributions of the TOURBIT project on the uptake of tourism SMEs digitalization. Blanca, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Sandra. Thank you very much. Thank you, Narcís. Yeah, thank you very much as a director, the encouraging words he gave us. I think he really explained very well what consists in TOURBIT and how we have been, struggling inside the European project, which is the link with these funds, how we can take advantage of that, and this is very important. The TOURBIT project starts in January 2022, and it's been all these years, 2 years, working really close with an excellent consortium. And what I wanted to say that is today is the final conference, it's our 3rd day. We've been working for 2 days in the steering committee. We have to fix and to chair and to see how is the scene of the situation, the current situation of our project. And yesterday morning, we went to the Mobile World Congress. We organized different groups. Some of you that you are here today, you participate in these groups. And it was really good and inspiration for us to see what's going on in the mobile. If we can take the technology, this really new technology, and see how can match with our tourism needs. Okay, of course, in the mobile, we see a very huge technology, and mostly of our enterprises are micro, small, medium enterprises. But anyway, it's inspirational. We can get ideas. We see where the market is moving. We see where are the trends, and this can help. What else I wanted to say and to share with you? So, and as a coordinator of TOURBIT, I'm really delighted to be here, and I really thank you, all of you, to be here today. as I said, sorry, I have to move the, no? Where I have to, sorry, technological problems. Okay, yeah. Before to start and to give you, no, yeah, I'll try. Before to give you just a summary, no, a brief explanation of what is the goal of TOURBIT and everything, I think for me really, and I think for all of us, is very important, the consortium, the partners that took place in this project. I mean, without them, it has not been possible to reach and the outputs we have reached. So really, I thank, and I would like to thank in front of all of you, who are them. So there is the Barcelona Chamber of Commerce. I think Berta, stand up, Leonie, say you are here, thank you. Then the City Lab, Paris City Lab, Anna and Maria here. Then R2, Katrina, you are there. Hub Brussels, they have to leave, they are online. Frederic, Veronique, hello. And then Iceland Tourism Cluster, Davis, where are you? Hey, thank you. And then from Lapland University of Applied Science, Anu is here. And Nes, Portugal, she's there. And from the Catalan Tourist Board, we have different members that they've been here. So Monica, it's been Marion there, Gemma as well, and of course, Sandra. I think the good thing of this consortium is that every single company, they gave us their experience, they share with us their experience from a different perspective, even from different countries, different cultures, and I think this was very enriched. There is a PowerPoint for the project. So let's move. Yes, now it's working. So the goal of the TOURBIT project is to support the digital uptake of tourism SMEs located in our territories, in the TOURBIT destinations and beyond. As I told you before, the project started in January 2022 and will end next June 2024. Okay, it's the final conference, still 4 months running in front of us, but don't worry, because we wanted just to underline some of the findings we have found, and we have also the opportunity to have different speakers that will enlighten us and they will inspire us. But we wanted to do it close to the Mobile World Congress, taking advantage of, for all partners, for the SMEs that also you've been participating in our activities, no, to go to the Mobile World Congress and then to take advantage of our conference. So then, what else? Just to say that the TOURBIT project was found by COSME. It was 75%. Now, single market projects, the new ones, are funded 90%. So the framework, it has been very important for us to get the methodology. No. Yeah. No. Sorry. Sorry, without glasses, I don't see. Depends on the distance. So for me, it's tricky. I have to combine both things, glasses, no glasses, so sorry for that. Then, yeah, the framework. The framework, it's been our methodology, these 3 frameworks. So there was the pillar of learn, building, and implement. Learn, we need to know with this what was the state of the art of the digitalization in the SMEs, and it was very important to start from that side, then build community, build close SMEs from the tourism sector with the digital sector, and finally implement the results, implement all what we have found through our digital acceleration program. Then, red one. No, sorry, sorry for that. Okay, and for doing this also we have been, using different technologies. We have been analyzing them, and here they are. For example, in learning, we have analyzed these 8, 9 current technologies, but as you know, in this world, when we started 2 years ago, they were maybe, some of them, they were at top. They moved, they changed, and add other ones. So I wanted to say as well that with all these activities that we developed with learning, we have reached almost 1,500 companies, and this is very important for us as an output. we have developed different webinars from two perspectives. The deep dive session that it was more focused to know more about technology. I'm sure that some of the companies you are here, you also participate in that webinars. And then we had the Go Digital Skill programs, that is capacity building programs tailor-made for tourism SMEs needs according to the Digital Maturity Index. And then we have assessing the digital maturity of tourism SMEs through the Digital Readiness Index. This is a very important tool of the project, an important output. Why? Because through this tool, you had the possibility to assess really the level of of digitalization of your company, and there are 3 different levels. And yes, this is, you can see more or less that we had already 372 responses, and it's important to see that 72% is micro, small, medium enterprises. No? The tourism sector is not a huge sector of big companies. They are small, so this means micro, 1, 2 people, because a small, medium enterprises means from 50 people. So imagine how is our ecosystem. So the needs they have, the small, medium enterprises, are completely different from the ones that are bigger. Also here it says in our case, well, in Spain we have a lot of responses, but also from the other countries that are participating. And the level of performance, you see that is the average, in our destinations, the ones that we've been working, is quite. I have to be here, okay. Sorry the people online that I'm checking there. You see the breakage that there is, Okay, there are some, they are really performing very well, but at the same time, there are other companies performing very bad. So from 0 to 4, it's 2.4. So it's not bad, but still we have a long walk to do, a long path to do, in order to reach that, the whole transformation and digitalization of this sector. Okay, moving to the next one, that is build. Oh, sorry. It was very interesting because here, while you have some of the results, we start also with a co-creation workshop in each country. And for me, it was very important in these co-creation workshops that I participate to see when we're discussing these stakeholders from the digital ecosystem and the tourism ecosystem, and they say that there was a big gap between the tourism sector, tourism SMEs, and with the digital sector. So that gave us an idea on how to work in the following month after that. Also, they participate about 103 companies in these activities. And also, I think it was very important that the TOURBIT community, it was a community that started with another European project that was Turban. Then we continued with this community, and this community you found all the stakeholders we've been working for, and also tourism SMEs, as also digital service providers that are about 200. Why I say this? Because this is another path to put closer both communities, the technology one with the tourism SMEs, and it's quite successful in that sense. Then, also we've been doing lunch. Well, you see here how little by little they have increased this community, that is the TOURBIT community. Then moving to a very important pillar of this project that is implemented is the Digital Acceleration Program. As you can see, we received 232 applications for our Digital Acceleration Program, and only 62 tourism SMEs were funded. We have already been working with them. Some of you are here today. Some of you are there online. And we've been working together for 10 months with the digital tech service providers. So it's been the implementation, the project that will support the digital acceleration. Also, I would like to say, I would like to underline that if you check also the graphics, you see that 67.7% are micro enterprises as well. As I said before, it's very important in the tourism sector, these micro SMEs. And then the profile of the SMEs, mostly all travel agencies, but 51%, but on the other side, I mean, all of them are accommodation. So it's quite balanced between travel agencies and accommodation. So in conclusion, it has been very useful to have the DRI because it has shown that there is a fragmentation on the use of digitalization by tourism SMEs. Their digitalization is individual and it deserves tailor-made solutions. So the DRI enables SMEs and the project understand which is the digital maturity and also it provides them with recommendations. Take into account that more than 70% of the SMEs that have participate in the DRI and in the Digital Acceleration Program are micro SMEs. That means what I said before, 1 to people working. So the needs of these micro SMEs are different from big companies. For that reason, a small budget, as this funded, some people say, no, 8,000, 9,000 euros, has had a huge impact in these small SMEs. No, this has been a leverage, a push to start to continue with their digitalization. So for me, the contribution of TOURBIT to our tourism ecosystem has been this to improve, to reduce the gap between tourism SMEs and technologies and digitalization community. So nothing else to add, but you will see in the following sessions, you will witness this improvement later on during the roundtable, also with the TOURBIT SMEs. And this is all from my side. Thank you. So I will welcome EISMEA, that is here on the other side. Our project advisor, Vella, is here. So he just traveled from Brussels to stay these 2 days with us. So please, Alan, the floor is yours. Welcome to the stage.
Thank you. Thank you to the Catalan Tourist Board for this kind invitation. Thank you, Director Ferrer, for the kind words also. And thank you also to the consortium, starting with the Chamber of Commerce for their hospitality yesterday, but all other consortium members also. It's been very nice getting to know you. I told them yesterday that project management is like a marriage. It can go either right or wrong. And I think in this case, the warmth that they have shown, the enthusiasm that they have shown are extremely important, I think, because it shows that synergies are there, and that's where they deliver the best results, basically. So I think I'll need the pointer. Ah, it's here. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Blanca. So I'd like just to say a few words today on EISMEA, but also on actually the calls which we manage ourselves in Brussels, because these are very important because they reach the different actors, the different stakeholders across the continent, and this is indeed one of the projects that have benefited out of our funding. So, EISMEA, what is EISMEA? Well, we are one of 6 executive agencies of the European Commission, and each executive agency has a particular specialization. In our case, we deal with the Innovation Council, which is a program itself which has quite a few millions of euros in terms of budget. And also, we have other particular programs. I'll deal with it in the next slide, basically. But the focus is always on SMEs in our case, whilst in other executive agencies, as you can see, there can be some dealing with health, others dealing with research, others dealing with the environment. Those are the executive agencies which implement the project management side of matters within the European Commission, because there has been a devolution. So the European Commission itself deals with policy matters, and us, the executive agencies deal with the project management side, and that's where we deal with the different actors, the different projects, the different calls for tenders, etc. So we deal with the funding context in delivering these opportunities to the different stakeholders across Europe. EISMEA was formerly EISME up to 2021, and we have actually been dealing with 3 particular programs. As I said, it's the EIC, which forms part of the EIC, the Innovation Council, forms part of Horizon Europe, which is the largest program which we deal with, indeed. And then there's the single market program. Blanca was mentioning COSME, because actually this particular project is still within the framework of COSME, which was the predecessor of the SMP, of the Single Market Program. Well, nowadays it's the Single Market Program, and then there's also another part dealing with ERDF funds, the European Regional Development Funds, and here we're talking also about projects relating to innovation. And in total, we are managing in the region of 2,335 projects as an agency, not on tourism only, of course, in different types of projects relating to the Single Market Program, to Horizon Europe, to the ERDF, and that's around 2 billion euros of funds, basically, and around 470 million of investments, only specifically in 2021. So depending on whether you have experience in Horizon or not, this is quite a big context, because it's going particularly also to SMEs. And this is indicated here in this particular slide, for instance, because the budget for SMP is 4.2 billion now. So there is this context of the multi-annual framework program, which means that there are 6-7 years always where the financing is dedicated to particular initiatives. And in this case, just for the Single Market Program, we're talking about 4.2 million. And as you can see, it has increased substantially over what COSME had. I repeat, COSME is the predecessor of Single Market Program. So it's more or less double what COSME had in the previous multi-annual framework program. This is just to show you that the European Commission, us as EISME, we are keen to give additional importance as much as possible to the SMEs context. And of course, SMP and COSME before, we provide various forms of support to the different businesses, and especially to the SMEs. And to illustrate this, I'd like to bring forward as an example these particular calls which we have issued. So in terms of financing the different stakeholders, we issue calls for tenders and calls for proposals. The calls for proposals are there for partners such as the ones we have present here, because they come together, they form a consortium from all across Europe, and this is a clear case here because we have partners from literally all across Europe, north, south, etc. And they come together to implement a particular work program that they come up with in terms of their submission, in terms of their proposal. So every year within this framework, we have come up with different calls dedicated specifically to tourism. 2019, we started off with sustainable tourism development. Now, this does not mean that there weren't calls before. Actually, the Catalan Tourist Board also participated in the previous calls. But the difference, and why I'm highlighting these 5 different calls, is that here in these 5, we started giving direct interest and direct importance to the SMEs, whilst previously the thrust of the calls was more on tourism products. Tourism products, the development of products, and that gave rise to the importance nowadays for giving direct funding to SMEs, because that's the beauty of these particular calls from 2019 onwards, that besides giving the opportunity to the different consortium members to come together to enjoy the networking elements, to grow together in terms of the objectives they want to reach. Besides that, there's an element, a considerable element, of direct funding to the SMEs. Blanca was saying they are mostly micro SMEs nowadays. Micro SMEs meaning 1 or 2 member SMEs, basically, a very small SME. And these SMEs usually, the micro SMEs, they don't have enough time and resources to dedicate outside their day-to-day business matters. So here is an opportunity where we finance the different opportunities for them to be able to grow also, not only in the context of their day-to-day activities, but also to learn exactly in notions relating to, we call it the twin transition, which is sustainability and digitalization. And as you can see there in those 5 calls, we passed from sustainable tourism to digitalization. 2021 was that year of the COVID, so we're talking about COVID recovery, how to recover. You all know that tourism is one of the first industries that recovers always after there is a world crisis. It happened before too. So 2021, that's COVID recovery. 2022, we started looking also at the different elements relating to European policy, the Green Deal, for instance, and of course, related to this is the twin transition, sustainability and digitalization. And from there comes the need to have this context with the twin transition relating to ecosystems, and the most recent call, which is the one which has been just issued a couple of months ago, more sustainability and resilience in terms of the economy. Now, as you can see there, there are the different budgets and the different projects we have actually committed to. And the beauty of this is that in total, 56 million euros of funds were just dedicated to these calls, to these different calls between 2019 and 2023. 56 million, again, depends from which context you come, whether you consider that as a big figure or a small figure. But 56 million within a context of COSME or SMP is a big amount because it's dedicated specifically to tourism, this 56, and effectively we have financed or are in the process of financing around 35 projects. This is one of them, TOURBIT, one of the 35, but 35 projects like these have benefited out of our funds. And we estimate in the context of financing 11,500 SMEs over that period too. Actually till 2022, because in 2023 the call has just been launched now. So we have outreach. 11,500 may not be a big figure within a European context, but it's still reaching 11,500 SMEs that without our help would not have had the opportunity to learn a bit better about a European context, about sustainability, about digitalization, depending on the trust of the different calls which we have launched. And all this forms part of a policy context, which I've highlighted there, the EU Transition Pathway for Tourism and the Agenda for 2030, because they're both policy contexts support this trust towards sustainability and digitalization. And to illustrate with just a couple of final slides here, our trust, our importance given to the what we call financial support to third parties, which is this support we give directly to SMEs, we call it FSTP. Here is an illustration of the growing importance we give to this FSTP because effectively, as you can see over the years, it has been increasing in importance and it has been increasing in the percentage of the budget which we give to FSTP, specifically to the SMEs. So there you can see over 2019 to 22, it has risen from 47% to 63%. This said, what are the activities? Which are the activities which we support? So, as we said, they are micro enterprises, micro SMEs, and here I try to group the activities which we finance into 4 particular areas, generally, broadly, starting off with knowledge transfer. For instance, you can see the list there: matchmaking, trainings, coachings, capacity building, building skills, etc. This particular area is important because they usually do not have the time for this type of activity. Business orientation. For growth, you have to know a bit better the GDPR context. You have to know better the regulatory compliance context also. You have to be able to understand how to collect data. These are all services which are offered within the context of our FSTP. It's in the region of 10, 15, 20,000 euros per SME. And then there's the sustainability context, which is very important. Certification, for instance, many aim hotels or even travel agents, etc., tour operators, they aim for sustainability certification, environmental certification. So whether it's Travel Life, whether it's the EU EcoFlower, whether it's Green Key for hotels, these are all certification programs which we help in terms of the build-up, in terms of providing services for them to reach such standards. And finally, digitalization, innovation, and smart tourism. This is a case in point of this project, of this particular call, because here the SMEs in this particular call have been able to adopt digital tools, smart technologies, online markets, digital and distribution channels, neuromarketing techniques. I have another project dealing with neuromarketing techniques, all areas linking tourism to the digital world. And that is why it has been an extremely illuminating experience to go to the Mobile World Congress yesterday, because there you learn about things which will happen, which will become realities in the future too. That's all from my side. Thank you very much once again to the Catalan Tourist Board for the invitation, and good luck in these coming 4 or 5 months. Thank you.
Thank you, Alan, and also Blanca, for sharing with us this comprehensive overview on how the European projects support the digitalization of tourism SMEs. So we have been seeing a little bit what EISMEA gives, how EISMEA provides this support, and then we have seen a case study more precisely from the eyes of TOURBIT. We are talking about tourism SMEs, tourism SMEs, tourism SMEs. Where are they? They are here in the room. So now we're going to have the chance to listen to their testimonials. Basically, the TOURBIT project, as it has been said before, had a digital acceleration program. We had 182 applicants. From those, 62 were selected to receive financing support, which was around 8,000–9,000 euros, in order to develop and to implement digitalization projects. So today we have them here in the room and also online, and we're going to be able to talk to them. So now I'm going to give the floor to Nick Hall, who is the founder of Digital Tourism Think Tank, and is going to be facilitating this session. Thank you, Nick, very much, and enjoy the discussion.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Well, first of all, I have to say I'm coming in and TOURBIT right at the end here, and we'll tell you a bit more about what's coming up. But it has been such a rewarding experience to meet these different SMEs, just a small handful, and I'm so excited that you guys are going to get to meet them today, which is what the next session is about. So I'm going to first of all invite all of the SMEs that are in the room to just maybe stand up or raise your hand. Well, go on, stand up. So these are the SMEs that are here with us today. I think most of you will be joining on stage, maybe not all of you. And we're going to organize the next session in 3 different parts. So you can sit down now. So the next session will be in 3 different parts, and we're going to look at digital presence, because of course marketing and being able to continually adapt those skills. We've seen in Mobile World Congress yesterday just how fast this is moving is really important. But also, so is under the hood, the operational side is just as important, and sometimes that doesn't get enough attention. And then, of course, innovation, really thinking outside the box and doing things completely differently to solve challenges. So without any further ado, I'd like to invite beginning with our two in-person panelists who are going to join on this first session. I'd like to invite Guillaume Silva and Bjorn Olofsson, coming from Portugal and from Iceland. Guillaume and Bjorn, come to the stage. Let's give them a nice round of applause. So if you guys would like to sit here, yep, there you go, take your seat. Right, so we're going to have a really good discussion about how you've been able to put the support from TOURBIT to work. But first of all, tell us about your businesses. So let's start with yours, Guillaume.
Okay, so my name is Guilherme, and thank you, Nicholas, for the invitation. My business is a very small business in the north countryside of Portugal, and we are focusing on offering an authentic experience to our guests. And through the TOURBIT program, we've been working in digital marketing. We are analyzing the new trends in marketing. We are creating a new rebranding over the hotel. And yes, that's what we're doing right now.
Great, and this is indeed your business.
Yes.
Excellent. And Bjorn, tell me about you. And we're going to head to our online guests as well. So we have a panel of 4 here. But before we head to them, tell us a little bit about your context, because you're in Iceland, and there's a lot of activity in Iceland right now.
There sure is. So my name is Bjorn, or Arbjörn, for those of you speaking Icelandic. GeoCamp is a true micro SME, as you were mentioning before. Back home now, there's nobody working because I'm here.
That's a real micro SME.
But I was not going to miss the opportunity. So GeoCamp is developed and comes from education. So it's developed as educational tours. The founder, former principal in Iceland, college principal, started getting requests for trips to Iceland to witness things like this. So it grew from education. The people involved have no experience in tourism and marketing. So we're from the educational side. So we're developing educational tours in Iceland, focusing on geology, volcanoes now, climate change, STEM issues, and so forth. And this is a growing thing, growing interest in going to Iceland to be in Iceland or see Iceland as an active classroom. A great place.
So it's a very, very specific market you have. We're going to talk about that in just a minute. Now let's head over to our online participants. Let's cross our fingers as well and hope they were able to join. So we have Sofia Gomes da Costa. She's coming from Portugal, and oh, there we go. And her business is Casa d'Avo Genoveva. I hope I pronounced that correctly. Welcome, and thanks for joining us remotely. Why don't you tell everybody a little bit about your business? Do you need to unmute, maybe? It's always that thing with Zoom, right? Let's have a quick...
Hello?
Hi, we can hear you perfectly.
Hello. Okay. Hello, my name is Sofia. I'm the owner of a very small rural house tourism here in Portugal. I just started to co-manage this family business like a couple of years ago with my mother. She's about to retire. We didn't have any digital presence besides being listed in booking.com. We didn't have any well-reflected brand. We didn't have, well, there were a lot of things that we didn't have related to marketing and digital brand and strategy. And TOURBIT has been helping me to organize all these very important things to go further with my business. So I will gladly share more in a bit, okay?
Great, and I think you're certainly on a major transformation from our previous discussions.
Yes.
And then lastly, we will head to Henna Rinta Santi, who's coming all the way from Lapland in the far north of Finland. Hi, Henna, great to have you with us. Tell us a little bit about your business.
Hello, nice to be with you. Can you hear me?
Perfectly, yeah.
Perfect. It is a pleasure to be part of this event. Thank you for inviting me. And I am marketing manager here in Santa Park Arctic World. And our Santa Park Arctic World umbrella brand includes Arctic Treehouse Hotel, Santa Park, the home cavern of Santa Claus, and Lapland Luxury DMC, and Vakas Restaurant, and then our Santa Claus Secret Forest that this project was about. And Santa Claus Secret Forest is premium Christmas destination. It is located secretly in secret location in northern forest here nearby Rovaniemi, by the Arctic Circle. And this TOURBIT project was to help us to improve our digitalization to help our guests to communicate with us easier.
And you've done some very interesting things, so we will come back to that in just a minute. But I think this is probably one of my favorites, and you're probably going to see why, because it's just really fun. But you've all been part of TOURBIT, and you started with a challenge, a problem that you thought digital could perhaps solve. So, Guillaume, let's start with you. What was the challenge that you came with?
We had several challenges. Like Sofia, we are a very small hotel business. So we had almost no digital presence before the program. We was in the most common platforms, Booking.com, Airbnb, but no more else. And with the support of TOURBIT, we start implementing a new website. We start creating some social media campaigns, developing our social media network, and also we did some marketing research about what's happening in the hospitality industry, and I think all that things was just possible because the support of TOURBIT and services providers. Because otherwise we just have 2 people in the business, and we don't have the budget and the time to grow our business that way.
How much of that was learning new strategic skills, learning new tactics, exploring platforms? Yes. Versus just finding the space and the time to do that within the day-to-day running of a business?
For me, it was amazing because I'm very young and I'm still studying marketing. So I just organized my schedule myself, and I did a lot of workshops. I did a lot of studies by myself, and with this financial support, I was able to implement the strategies that I learned before. And without this support, it's not able for SME to implement, to make it the reality.
So it was really kind of helping you to build further rather than helping you to maybe just get started in the beginning. Exactly. And I think this is really crucial because it's really about getting those skills so that you can do that yourself later on. Exactly.
Most of the times we are dreaming we are trying to approach that to make it true, but if we don't have the financial support for a micro business like us, it's impossible to become reality.
Now, Bjorn, your situation is quite different. You have your primary market is the US, from what I understand, and obviously your product is very, very specific and niche. That can present many opportunities online, but it can also be quite a challenge. Tell us a little bit about the challenge you came with.
Yeah, so a little bit similar to the previous experiences, though, because, I mean, we are 2 middle-aged men running a company, and moving towards more digitalization is a huge challenge. So TOURBIT, of course, offers resources, financial resources. It opens up possibility for more time and more resources to implement these things. But maybe more importantly, in our case, it was a chance to open and broaden our minds on the possibilities that what we could do. Because, look, last time I did something challenging in digitalization was programming the VCR back in the 80s.
That could be quite challenging, in fairness.
It was a huge challenge. But back then I was a young man. This was something that I could adapt and I could do easily. Now it was just a huge challenge to set up a Facebook page. So our original mindset coming into TOURBIT was to build on that, build on the social media platforms. But having a ongoing dialogue with the contractor, with the people that came in through TOURBIT, actually directed us towards new opportunities where we started focusing on different platforms. In this case, LinkedIn, because it was a site or social media that we didn't think about in the beginning, but we soon realized that a more B2B directed approach was what we needed in order to communicate with our partners and the groups in the United States.
And of course, having that really good kind of strategic support helps sometimes to see things differently and to see opportunities that perhaps were always there, but just don't jump out at you.
I will teach you an Icelandic sentence. It says, glögt gess augað. And there's just one person in the room that
There's going to be a test later.
Glögt gess augað. It means the eye of the visitor is keen. So a visitor, and this is from the old Icelandic sagas or the sayings of the Vikings. It is about the importance to have other people looking at your environment and commenting on it, because they will see things that you have stopped noticing, not only in your environment, but also in your own trade. So it was hugely important to have the resources and the possibility to invite people to come in and say, okay, you should look at this instead, because we're in this bubble
so
working.
It's really that fresh perspective.
Yeah.
Right, I'm going to ask Sophia now to jump in. And Sophia, your story really was so touching for me, because it's one of a change from a family business to a professionally run business with a completely different mindset. So a very different way of thinking about that mindset shift. And you talked about having the majority of your bookings through Booking.com and the other OTAs. And we know that tourism businesses are desperate to be more independent in terms of securing their own bookings for obvious reasons. Tell us about the journey you're on, and how far have you reached in that journey so far? I know for all of you it's still very much work in progress.
Yes, for sure. We are still in a very work in progress mode, because, as I was saying before, this house has been open for 30 years already. In a family state, it's been in our family for 300 years. My parents, when they opened the house, it was mainly to get a little bit of more income to preserve the state, because it's a big one. And they were not digital. Nobody was digital back then. This was 30 years ago. My parents were philosophy teachers, so they just started to run the business as a side job, a side income. But the fact is that the people liked a lot to come, to stay. They enjoyed having guests, but the world has changed a lot. Things are, clients are more and more demanding, more and more attentive to get a quality offer. So we also had to change our ways of doing things. And the digitalization process for us has been an eye-opener, because we never stopped actually before TOURBIT to think of very fundamental things for a business, like for instance, what is our brand, how are we going to contact with our ideal clients, what do we have to offer, how can we find the right voice to talk with our ideal client through the digital marketing. So before TOURBIT, before this grant, we never stopped to actually think of all these fundamental things of any business. So for us, the TOURBIT grant has been so challenging and so eye-opening, because we are rediscovering our business and seeing the future in a brighter way, because I think we are now finding where do you want to arrive, how to arrive there. We're finding the right voice. Even we are defining economic objectives. That was something that we never did before. And we are just, we were able to stop, to have the money, to get the consultancy with TOURBIT, to find the good providers to help doing this path that we never did before. So I know it's very modest because it's something that every business should have, but we didn't have it. So it's been very interesting and super fun to do all of these things.
I think that's a really, I mean, that's a story that I think is just amazing, because we talk about the professionalization of the industry, and a lot of businesses in tourism start out as family-run businesses or something we do out of passion, and we don't always think about these changes that we need to make. And now you're speaking like a big brand, and I think this is really great. You seem ready for it. So going back to Hannah, tell us about what you've developed, because I think this is really cool. I love it a lot. And what's the impact that it's having on your business?
So we have created our own elf bot. Elf Denny is helping guests in our website and answering the questions and helping with the purchased path. And it has been very fun. We have this group, weekly departures for groups during the winter season, and then we have these private experiences around the year. And the private experiences can be like purchased via email. You will have the conversation with our amazing sales team, and we are hoping and looking for Elf Denny to help with easy questions or easier questions to reply. So then our team here is having this more fluently, conversation to execute the booking. And also when guests are interested in a certain experience, we will get all the information ready for the team to reply when Elf Denny has already asked the most important questions from the guests. And I love this project, since this was kind of like how to have automation and digitalization and having it still personal and have this very important storytelling aspect in it. So it has been really fun.
So the Elf bot is definitely one that I've enjoyed using, and I think there's a great variety of stories here, but they all relate to our online presence and how we can do that more impactfully, more effectively, and looking at what you're doing, even leading that through to conversational marketing and automation, which is one of the biggest trends happening right now. Well, I'm going to thank this panel because we have 2 more panels to cover, and I want to make sure everybody gets the same time. So let's give all 4 of you a round of applause. Thank you very much for joining us, and it's been great to hear your stories. I will now invite our next panelists to the stage. So we have 2 more people in person and 2 more online. So Eleonora, welcome to the stage. Eleonora Sensori is from Destination Everywhere, and Guadalupe Fili is from Turismo Vivencial. I hope that's correct. Hello. So welcome. Let's give them a round of applause. We also have Etienne and Ursche joining online. We'll come to them in just a minute. But starting with yourself, Eleonora, tell us a little bit about your business, and it's a very early business, right?
Yes, it's actually it's a rebirth, because we exist as Destination Everywhere Accessible Travel since 2018. And we are relaunching now after the pandemic, and we're also a micro-enterprise consisting of me and my business partner, Marco, who is also here, so nobody's working today. Only our web developer, he has to work. And we are relaunching with a new project, which is called Wheel Tribe, which is a community-based travel website for people with disabilities, but also made by people with disabilities. So it's a really participatory project where each destination is presented through its actors, who are local hosts with a disability, associations who work with people with a disability and organize leisure activities that they can open to people who visit. So the idea is to put in contact locals and travelers with a disability, and have also next to it an adapted travel services marketplace. So people can ask for information, they get the answer from a local, they get good tips, and then they can book directly through the platform the service that they have been recommended.
That certainly seems very ambitious. So that's definitely well fitting for the panel, which is all about operational digital transformation. And tell me a bit about your own business, Guadalupe.
Well, I work in Turismo Vivencial. We are a wholesaler, a DMC here in Spain and Portugal. And we work everything around sustainable tourism. We try to offer the travelers different experiences, supporting the local communities they are visiting. And we also have like a brand of tourism consultancy, where we work around European projects and national projects around sustainable tourism.
And tell me a bit about the digitalization problem that you came with.
Yeah, well, the main problem I will highlight of our digitalization is that for us, for the team, internal, it's a bit complicated to understand the new procedures, because until now we've been doing everything with simple tools as Excel and Word and, and some things by paper. And for us to change our mind to understand a new software or a new tool and to invest time of working implementing this was the most difficult thing.
Okay, we're going to hear more about that in a moment. So let's head online to Etienne Vervi from La Petite Vadrouille. Hi, Etienne, are you there? Nice to see you. Tell us about your business and the problem that you came to TOURBIT with.
Yes, good morning, everybody. Good morning, Nicolas. I'm Etienne. I grounded La Petite Vadrouille 5 years ago. La Petite Vadrouille is a small tourism agency providing for companies and individuals unique and tailor-made experiences like stunt initiation with the John Wick stuntman, or follow one of the most beautiful underground rivers in Europe, or racing home pigeon speed competition. So it's very, very specific experiences, homemade. The ambition of La Petite Vadrouille is to become the largest database of specific experiences in France and later maybe in Europe. The power of data combined with human intelligence will help to achieve this ambition. And thanks to TOURBIT, the digitalization process will impact B2C and B2B process. So it's a big step for me. And TOURBIT so helped me to have a new reflection. And I think without TOURBIT, maybe in my mind, I wouldn't go with this ambition. So it's opened a lot of doors for next years.
And certainly, this is a fascinating business, because actually I said Björn was working in a very niche area, but in fact, actually what you're doing is extremely niche, and you have incredible experiences which are really curated for the end customer. And you've been very successful doing that in person through personal contact, and this digitalization process, I think, opens up a huge, huge wealth of opportunity. Let's head to Ursula first. From Camp Menina, which is based in Slovenia. Tell us a little bit about your business and the problem that you came to TOURBIT with.
Hi, I'm Ursula. Can you hear me?
Hi.
Yeah? Okay. We have a campsite in Slovenia. It grew from a small family business. Now it's at the point where it's something between a family business, a bit too big for a family business. And we offer a lot of activities, outdoor activities, then accommodation, Then we have gastronomy with restaurant and different food and a lot of experiences that we offer around the whole Slovenia and our valley. And the challenge for us was that with team buildings and different groups that visit us, we have to combine all of this. We have to combine accommodation, transfers, different guides, different activities, and food all together. And the challenge especially is because when you work with people, you're never on time, and a lot of things can go wrong, and then you have to communicate that the really big part of participants in the project. So our problem, and now we're on our way to fix or optimize this kind of things, so the organization inside is gonna be easier for me and for our staff, and that hopefully because of that, the product and the experience is going to be better for the guests as well.
Great, and we know just how important agility is to be a business in a digital world, and this is why we often talk about agile teams being really, really important. There's skills, there's techniques, there's ways of doing things, but more than anything, it's also a question of the tools you use and how you can set up that workflow that makes everything run really, really productively and fast. So let's go back to yourself, Eleonora. Tell me about your technology journey. How is this going, and what's the TOURBIT aspect been?
Well, basically, for us, the topic was that we were looking into a lot of technology before the start of the pandemic. We already prepared the project on AI and how to use AI to actually find more easily information about accessibility of hotels and services. And then the pandemic started. And of course, the world changed and the travel sector changed and technology evolved at a really fast speed. What would have cost us a huge amount of money that we were not able to finance at that time, just before the pandemic started, became now with with OpenAI, super easy and cheap to use. But super easy, what can we do with it? How can we use this type of technology that is now available to everyone? And which one is the one we want to choose? So for us, we wanted to create this new platform and automate it directly. So we wanted the new platform to be a complete tool, which was connected to all the services we needed. But we needed to find out what can we automate, what should we automate, and with which tools. So for us, TOURBIT was really the way to find out how we can do this. And this was achieved both through the online webinars, which were super interesting because they gave us a full overview of what are the hot technologies now and what are they being used for and how can we use them. Because we are a small team, we need to really find easy, simple tools to manage and have somebody advise us on how to implement them. And that's what we're doing with the TOURBIT funding.
So a big part of the challenge has actually been looking at the many, many thousands of solutions that exist and figuring out what's right for you and how to put it in place. And as we were hearing before, maybe that fresh outside perspective really helps to put things in context.
Exactly. So we're now doing a process in setting up a marketing automation system, which will help us to communicate in an easier way. And also we will be collecting data because we want to have this platform develop in terms of functionalities based on data from the user's behavior. We want to know what they like, what they would like, and how can we do this in a way that is effective and allows us to grow according to the user's wishes and needs.
And it's just the two of you?
Yes, but we have great service providers. And
I'm just saying that because I think it's incredible to hear you talking about automations and different platforms. And you know, this is something that a digital-first business is thinking about right at the very beginning. And it seems
we were
like
a digital-first business.
And this is great to hear.
Small, but digital, very small.
How does the technology perspective look like from you? What's the TOURBIT support kind of led you to be able to build or change?
Yeah, well, first of all, TOURBIT helped us to see like the big picture of digitalization in our company, because we maybe didn't identify our needs until we have met some suppliers and they have offered us different solutions that we say, okay, maybe this could help us, and we didn't know that. You know, we had the issues, but we didn't know how to solve the problem. So the main thing would be that they put us in contact with companies that will bring really solutions for us, because there's a lot of technological companies out there, but which one is the one, the perfect for us, you know?
So it seems for both of you, it's, you know, we talked about the coaching, the training, the partners that you work with, and the financial support to get that help from those partners, which I think is brilliant. But it's also the network then, and the training and the whole program that goes back to the start in 2022. So going to Etienne, tell us what is the impact of TOURBIT been for you? How far are you on your journey?
Yeah, in fact, for me, the TOURBIT, the first step, aims to facilitate the organization of the event with friends, family, collaborators in a company. And so thanks to TOURBIT, so it's almost done, not completely finished, but it will be possible to choose the right date matching with everybody. First step. Second step, to select into several types of universe what I would like to do, in fact, and then let the demography works in order to get the best experiences matching with the wish of the group. As of today, I have more than 800 experiences in France available in the database. I have 30 homemade experiences for companies. The third, then I will send a resume of the event to the group, PDF file, nice. And at the end, all the group wants to have more detailed information, and they can pay like online newspaper to have more information, more details, more experiences. So I realized that finally, friends, so they don't know when to go, what to do, and so on. And the organizers are always the same people, and it's not easy to make everybody follow. And if you stimulate their imagination and what's their dream somewhere, and everybody comes.
So it's
for B2B, I'm sorry.
No,
and for
carry on.
Yeah, and for B2B, La Petite Vadrouille, home experiences are suggested depending on the price, the number of persons, and the seasons. And quote, and invoice will be automatically generated. So it's a big step for the process B2B and B2C.
And when we talk about automation, these are things that we think big companies are doing, but actually smaller companies can benefit much more from, because it allows you to get back to doing other, maybe more creative things. Having things like a database, a CRM, they're the very fundamentals of a well-running business. Now, Ursula, I know you've been on this change process, and you've spoken about how challenging it is to get your team to adopt and to embrace new tools, and sometimes that's something that touches you as well. Tell us in a very short time what that change process looks like, and how far are you on that journey? Oh, I think you may be muted.
Yeah, well, right now there is a plan, provided that I've had a quick look over, and then the next thing is that we meet in person at the campsite and present the solutions, the project, the system to our staff, so they give us the feedback, because they're the ones that are going to use it the most, and I think they will have some good ideas, maybe better propositions, and especially we have to make them accept the digitalized age and get them to use the tool and to see that it's gonna make their work easier, because sometimes we still have the challenges that we work with, I don't know, a group of maybe older people in some departments, and they are still, for them it's quite hard to accept the digital age, and you have to present them how, and make them see how it's going to make their work easier.
So it seems like there's an internal selling that you have to do as well. It seems like all of you really believe in what digital can do for your businesses. What would you say this the kind of opportunity that TOURBIT has given you? Is it more about creating dedicated time and space to focus on these things with somebody who can lend you that expertise? What do you think?
I would say it opened our minds about this digitalization and help us to be, well, now we are implementing it, what we are starting being more productive. So the time we are saving doing internal procurement, we can invest it doing another type of job. So that will be the best best result of that.
And that's something you're passionate about, I guess. So if you can do less of the kind of administrative and operational work, you can put your ideas and creativity into the business.
Yeah.
And would you agree with that?
Oh, totally. Yeah, because the more time you can free up on, basic things, but that are super important because, keeping in good contact with your customers, and in our case, we're building a community, and a community needs a lot of contact, a lot of animation. And one of the things we discovered through the coaching, through which we funded with TOURBIT funds, was that we can actually also automate the community management. This was like really the big news because we were thinking just practical operations and some marketing. And then we discovered that we can actually automate the community, but there is one element that we were very careful with, and that is that the message that we are sending out to our community, to our network, and because it is travel for people with disability, we are very careful with language, and we want to use inclusive language. So we want it to be personal. We want there to be a personal touch, which is why, for example, we decided to automate some activities, but not the actual content of our communication, apart from some cases where, it's a question of processes. But really, the heart of the communication that we want to keep human.
And this is where using AI, generative AI, presents lots of opportunities, but big questions, big risks.
Big risks. Like you have to be very careful with the biases because the AI bias, we've been doing some experimenting, and it's like, okay, no, we are going to craft our message for the moment by ourselves because there is still a bias that has to be addressed. And it has to do with gender, it has to do with disability. And
you know perhaps better than most what that question really is about.
Try generating images with DALL-E that have to do with disability, and you will have some really weird and sometimes offensive results. So we have to train our AIs better.
Yeah. Well, we're moving on to our third session now. So let's give our four panelists a big round of applause. Thank you very much for joining us. It's been great to hear your stories. And now we move to the third part, which is about using technology really differently and thinking about innovation. So I'd like to invite our next two panelists to the stage. Carol Sanchez is from Run the World, and Laura Morris, she is from Fox House, Casaguilla. So come to the stage, welcome, and let's give them a big round of applause. We will also be joined online by Alexandra Hus. We'll come to her in just a moment. I think she's already there, so we'll come and say hello in just a moment. But Carol, start by telling us about your business and the tech challenge that you brought to TOURBIT.
Okay, thank you for, I don't know, you can hear me? Yeah?
Yeah.
I think so. Thank you, good morning. I'm Carol Sanchez from Run the World. We are an adventure travel agency. We operate in South Global, which are what we used to call developing countries. And our purpose is to take international travelers to very transforming experiences so that they get to know with authenticity a culture and get to know what needs to be done to have a global change. So this is one of our experiences in Madagascar. Our trips are combined with project visiting of NGOs, so social project, environmental project. And for us, the big challenge is to be someone in the mass. And we offer trips in countries that are not known, like Sierra Leone, Madagascar, where probably few of you have ever been. So we need to offer, to give security, to offer, to give trust to our travelers. And our challenge is to improve this image and also to improve our process to be able to focus on business like most of us here, because we are very small.
So that need for really good content to help people see that is really key.
Yes, exactly.
Laura, tell me a bit about your business and what is the challenge that you brought to TOURBIT?
So my business is a traditional guest house, a casa rural. It's in Pallars Jussá, which is a relatively unpopulated, not particularly known tourist destination in what is Spain, particularly for the British and American markets. We have an image of Spain and what's available in Spain. I happened upon a medieval garrison up in the mountains in 2015 and thought, I'm going to turn this into a space that kind of keeps the ethos of the Casa Rural going, that maintains a building that's over 1,000 years old. But I actually don't want it to be just a bed and breakfast. I don't want it to be just something where kind of people hang their hat and disappear and don't really think about it and certainly don't talk about it again at dinner.
You wanted to create an experience.
Yeah. So I wanted to create something that was flexible, organic, innovative, and something that could combine the magnificence of the area that is Pallars Jussá and the magnificence of this building with experiences for people that inspire them. It inspires them to do something different in their life, whatever their capabilities or interests might be. And so we built the house, and people start to come. And we're now trying to get that awareness, not just the awareness of the house itself, but also the awareness of the area. And the challenge there is the infrastructure within Pallars Jussá is quite sparse. And so when you have guests that travel internationally to get to somewhere like Pallars Jussá, being able to recommend a bodega, a restaurant, somewhere to go and have lunch, the types of things people do when they're traveling, is complicated. So we wanted to show a different side of Pallars Jussá. And our digital project was to create a map that would serve as an inspiration for others, and not just an inspiration that was focused on the landscape and the building that is Casa Guilla, Fox House, but something that brings inspiration aside from that. So we are trying to create a residency program where we offer participants globally the chance to come and stay at the house for free. And in exchange, they leave a token for us.
Which is what this is.
That's it, yeah.
So we'll come back to that in just a moment. I will hand over to Alexandra. Welcome, Alexandra. Thanks for joining us. Tell us a bit about your business and the challenge that you brought to TOURBIT.
Hello. Thank you for the invitation. I'm the manager of independent tourism residence located in southwest of France, in the French Pyrenees. We are proud to earn the Green Key label this year, and it's been a few years that we are searching of becoming a sustainable destination. So thanks to TOURBIT, we start a new challenge. We are searching and finding the solution to connect our channel manager with the electric meter and to reduce efficiently our energy consumption. So we aim to be the most sustainable possible.
I mean, that is, I think of all the projects, at least the ones I've met, this is really, really challenging and I think interesting as well, because it goes to what Alan was saying about the twin transition and about trying to address sustainability, reducing carbon and automating something like a heating system in a large property and linking that to a channel manager, I can imagine is not easy at all. So it's great that we've seen some huge challenges taken on. So perhaps to go back to yourself, Carol, tell us about the solution that you're working on?
So what we've started with TOURBIT is a system to automate our booking process. Like lots of us here, our website was very informative and very basic. So as a very niche activity, adventures in Sierra Leone, for example, we needed to have a process that gives trust and that is the less complicated, the more professional as possible. The second project was to give an immersive experience to people who would contact us through good content, as you mentioned, and through an email flow. And then we are also implementing a platform, an intelligence, it's called a social intelligence platform, listening platform to get data that we can, data about tourism, about social sustainable tourism that we can share with our partners, the charity we work in South Country.
Well, I mean, this is 3 big challenges.
Yes.
and are you learning in the process of working with these new technologies? How is that? Did you know what you wanted, or did you kind of gather that knowledge in the process? What does that work of pairing up with a service provider meant for you?
Yeah, so we thought we know what we wanted, and then by learning, by starting the project of digitalization, we realized we needed to first understand better our customers. So it forced us to also do this backward work. And so, yes, we still are learning how to even use the tools that are being implementing, and we still have to search for part of the tools that we will need to use to finish it. So we thought it would be easier, because we thought we were millennials, that we all already know how to use lots of tools, but it's actually continuous training.
You never stop learning,
no.
Right? And Laura, you've done something that I think very few businesses have had the chance to do, and that's work with NFTs, tokens, all enabled by blockchain. Yeah. I actually know very well Explorins, who you've been working with. Yeah. They're a Barcelona-based startup, and they're doing something amazing. What is that journey of working with this really exciting technologies, which are, I think it's fair to say, very nascent technologies? What has that been like?
It's been fun, because I think it's trying to bring it back to something that's human and usable, because I think sometimes these things can seem like really unattainable, even if you work in big tech. It's how to apply that to something, and particularly in the context of an SME, where potentially you have got very limited budget and you want something that doesn't just live for this project. I have to be able to keep maintaining this, and like everybody who's spoken today, because I'm here, there's nobody at home working, and therefore you've got to create a solution that doesn't need an army of people to keep it up to date. So working with the guys in Explorins has been a really interesting journey, because they've got such great energy, they've got such great ideas, and then we work together to try and ground that into something that will be usable. And we started, it's a map effectively of Pallars. It calls out the cool places to go, which can be quite hard to find. And effectively every point on the map tells you about that place, but equally it's matched and married with a piece of inspiration from one of our residents. And we started our first creative development residency, and we had 9 artists who came in from Vietnam, from Manchester, from London, from Berlin, from all over the place. We had a movement specialist. We had all kinds of people, and they participated in getting the collaboration between individuals to create a product that eventually you're going to ask visitors who come to the house to use for a meaningful purpose for them, which is to encourage them to engage with the space.
And this is a digital product?
Yeah.
Which is great.
We had a great discussion about tradability. So will we let the NFTs be tradable?
And have people been able to understand and work with this, or is it still very abstract? Because I think when you first introduced the idea of an NFT, who in the room does not know what an NFT is? And it's absolutely okay to put your hand up. Okay, I don't believe the rest of you. So it is something that apparently in this room everybody knows, but it's definitely something that is very abstract and people struggle to see how, how to engage with this.
I think people get locked onto the fact that NFTs have been linked to non-changeable things that you can trade for money, or what we would perceive as money or value. And I kind of try and like to bring it back to, it's like the Starbucks card where you get a stamp.
And make it more human.
Yeah, bring it back to something that people do know and people do understand. And the artists so far that have been involved in the collaboration were absolutely clear on the concept and absolutely clear that they did not sign up for these tokens to be tradable, because they, in their day-to-day business, they make their money by trading these tokens of their
artwork.
Yeah.
They avoid it from being, they have a certain
They
number
generate a channel
series.
of income, they do a certain set of things, and so we set the rule as the tokens we would use, whilst they would be NFTs, they would be protected by blockchain, we wouldn't set it up in a way that people could trade them and make some kind of economic benefit from them. It's the benefit that comes from the value of this project is community, not just with the artists and the residents, but within our local landscape. And it's building up this idea that you can inspire people to move and change and do stuff in different ways.
So Alexandra, what you've done is really very, very unique, maybe unique in the whole world, I think. Tell us, I know you're on a pilot, you're doing it as a prototype. Tell us about this prototype, and what are the conditions for this to be something that you do on a bigger scale after the test phase is finished?
First of all, I'm really sorry. I guess I have some issue with internet. Sometimes it cut, but now it's okay. We have like 100 apartments, and to put domotic, first of all, is really expensive. So thanks to TOURBIT and the generous funding, we can start a fast test in a few of our apartments. And also we met a company, thanks to our channel manager, that found a solution to create a gateway between our channel manager and the electric meter. And it's with the platform GDOM. I don't know if you know about domotics and this kind of thing. So now we are recently in a test phase, and I guess that we will find two issues in this project. First, the price, because it's really expensive to put it in all the residents. I guess if we decide to make it, I will ask for other funds, like sustainable fund or something else. And the second is that we truly think that an artificial intelligence is the future, but recently I attended a conference and I discovered that to store artificial intelligence, it's really non-ecologic. It's like a lot of carbon footprint. And I guess there is pros and cons, because if you put domotics to make something more sustainable, and in the other side there is something that we can't see that is really non-ecological. I'm not sure that we will follow, but I think that the actual sustainable concern will increase, and maybe make something more sustainable and use more artificial intelligence.
It's great to hear this, and good luck for your last part of the test and the pilot. And I think you make a good point as well. To make these structural changes within a business, it does need continual funding, support to subsidize that change. But also running a test, running a pilot, and having the opportunity to do that is something I guess that every business should take if it's offered to them. So it's been really great to hear all of your inspiring stories. Let's give this panel a round of applause. Thank you very much for joining us. And also to all the others as well. I know we're running a little bit on time, but I would love to now invite Marie Texier to come up. There you are right in front of me. Hi, Marie. Oh, can we get a mic? Oh, there we go. So we've been working on something very interesting. Do you want to tell everybody about this?
Yeah. On Monday, we will release the first podcast series of TOURBIT, and we worked really hard with Nick. So you will hear every Monday until June successful collaboration between European startups and SMEs. And these stories can inspire you and give you ideas on how you can use digitalization in your SMEs. So I really encourage you to subscribe to the future TOURBIT series, which is called Uptake. And also to listen until the end, because at the end you will hear Nick give you key takeaways and actions you can put in place in your SMEs.
It's really something, oh, you can keep that. It's really something you've been conducting these interviews. And I mean, the stories we've heard here today are really inspiring. But this gives a lot of time to get to know the businesses together with those partners that they've worked with. So there are a lot of ideas there, and I've really enjoyed listening to them. We're going to play you a short clip, and then you can just head out to the break where you'll have coffee. And you can also scan and subscribe already. It's already live, so you can subscribe in Spotify or in Apple. So I hope you enjoy this and have a very nice networking break, because we'll be back to talk about artificial intelligence afterwards.
I think what is really interesting in this podcast is that you will learn from the digitalization journey of SMEs, but also for the background of entrepreneurs that have found companies and that have feedback, and we can learn from their experience. Some episodes are really entrepreneurship masterclass, and this is really what I enjoyed about this podcast series, is we can learn from different cultures, from different mindsets, and also way of working to grow as an entrepreneur, but also as an SME.
It is truly inspiring, and I have really enjoyed listening to so many different stories of transformation. Here's a sneak peek at what's coming up in the series.
The first step is always to understand what is the real need behind the data.
We needed to get an easy and effective way to reach our clients to get their feedback.
Whenever you make a call to the hotel, the call is transferred to a voice bot. A voice bot is like a chatbot, but that is able to talk and listen.
People is more fluent with the technology, they are smarter, and they want the answer at the moment.
So the real challenge was to showcase our commitment to sustainable travel.
The objective is to build our database more and more with emission factors and to be able to be more rapid on this.
Our mission is to connect the technology or the digital with the physical world.
We are thinking always the way to do the things in a different way and to be innovative and to create a good impact in the users.
Before the pandemic, we used to work with pen and paper. A lot of our sales processes were run really, really manually.
When the market changed, technology changed, so you must be able to change yourself and your processes as well.
That gives you a glimpse as to what's coming up in the series. New episodes will drop every Monday on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and all major platforms. So make sure to subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. For more information, you can head to tourbit.eu or thinkdigital.travel, where you'll find more about the program and get lots of additional insights. We look forward to seeing you in the next episode.
So there you go. We hope you will subscribe and share. Thanks a lot.
Great. Great, thank you. I think that was amazing. Also, the roundtable discussion, it has helped us to understand exactly what all these TOURBIT SMEs have been doing, and this gives a lot of sense also to the work we have been delivering in the TOURBIT project. So now it's time for a coffee break, very deserved coffee break. Don't hesitate to talk to the SMEs that were joining us here today. So Alexandra, Guadalupe, Eleonora, Guillermo, also please, you have met them, Bjorn, you have met them, so don't hesitate to talk to them. We are gonna come back at 11:40, so we have more or less 25 minutes. Also for the online participants, in 25 minutes we will reconnect again. Thank you so much, enjoy the coffee.
This feeling is more than simple words can declare, and it can be found in anything, anywhere. What a shame it is that most of us are still searching for our first encounter with our very own star. One whose light will lift us from beneath our weaknesses. One who will guide our journey as we move towards a new dimension, new space and time. Black Star. Black Star. And what sense does it make to entertain affairs of the heart that don't beat together? And why is it that futility is a common man's companion? Black Star. Are we truly supposed to dance in these new shoes on floors aged in dying tradition? Or should we reach towards the sky? A place where they say our spirits can fly. Not quite sure where I last left my innocence. Maybe I lost it on the road to manhood. But why is it so hard to exercise due diligence? Why does being bad feel so good? Black Star, shine. Black Star. Black Star, shine. Maybe I'm just a boy, looking to be shown the light. Unaware of my star illuminating the road before me. So true, so right. Black Star. Black Star. You know, we're no different in the eyes of angels. And they say that the view from heaven is visual perfection. Every mortal saint and sinner is seen for what they truly are. Ordinary people, still searching for that very first encounter with the star. Black Star. Black Star, shine. Black Star. Black Star, shine. Black Star. Black Star, shine.
Hello. Hello. We are back again from the coffee break. Please take a seat. We're about to start the masterclass, so kindly take a seat, please. Okay, great. So I hope you enjoyed this well-deserved break and that you had the opportunity to do some networking. Now we have a very interesting and amazing session, which is a masterclass on artificial intelligence, which the idea is to understand how this artificial intelligence is going to support the daily business of a tourism SME. So I'm going to be inviting to join me at the stage Montse Guardia, who is the president of the Board of Trustees of the UPC. She is member of the Consell Assessor of the Artificial Intelligence Ethics Observatory of Catalonia and Chief People Officer at IDEATE. Please, Montse, join me here. Then I'm going to also give the floor to Gianfranco Mercado. He is the founder, member of Hospitalidad Emprendedora. Please, Gianfranco, join me here at the stage as well. And now, and I will give the floor again to Nick Hall, who is going to be facilitating also this session. Please, Nick. Thank you.
Thank you. So, guys, first of all, great to have you both with us. You both come from really, really different perspectives, and I think this is something that the audience needs. We've got a mix of policymakers right down to SMEs and tech providers, so there's a big range of spectrums. I think there's a lot of different ideas about AI, what it can do for us. There's a lot of fears, I think maybe even well-founded fears, so do enlighten us. And there's a lot of potential, enormous potential. And we were just speaking earlier about this change. So what I always try to explain to people, obviously not people who are too young, is those people who remember the iPhone and what it did to how we think about digital today will understand that enormous digital transformation journey that it triggered. And both of you are going to give us a bit of a perspective of just how fundamental this is. But I think also thinking about yourself, Gianfranco, where you're going to take us through the practical implementation. We're also going to maybe get an idea of just how amazing this can be to help us in our day-to-day business operations as one or two SMEs. So, one or two people SMEs. So, I'm going to hand the floor to you, first of all, Mense, and I'm just going to ask the audience to think really, really, really hard about your burning questions when it comes to AI. Because you probably have an enormous range of questions, such as, is it the end of employment and jobs as we know it, right down to what tools can help me do things better. Probably prefer those ones. So think about your burning questions. We'll see if we can squeeze them in in between the two sessions and at the end. And maybe to start things off, who in the room is using AI on a daily basis as part of their day-to-day work? Just a handful of you, okay. And it's nothing to be ashamed of. I think that's the first thing. So maybe there's some other people who are using it and think, am I allowed to say that? Did I write the last email with AI? So, there's a lot of opportunities. Well, I'm going to hand the floor to Mensa to take things off and tell us a little bit about the landscape and give us the bigger picture. Let's give a round of applause.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Nick. It's always great to be introduced by you with such energy. And also, just to start, I think so? No, it's not there. It's there.
On the back. It's there.
It's over there. Okay, perfect. So we go at the very beginning, if I can. Yeah. Yes, I know. I need to look at you guys that are in remote and to all of you that are in the present. And I wanted to start with my scarf there. So we are human, you see. I'm not an AI-generated human body. So I'm a real one. So in this moment, we are also thinking about that, no? When we told AI and tourism, we started to remember to ask ourselves what, why, and how, no? I will let the how for my friend here, but for the what and the why, I will think that we can answer together in the next few moments. The minute and why we need to start just a little bit cleaning our mindset is because we usually, no, right now, when we think, and also Nick did the proper question, what happens when somebody asks you, are you using AI? What happens in your mind at that moment? Oh, what's AI? Oh, yes, it's this thing that the texts are talking about. Or GPT, it's true, it's the chat GPT. Oh, what does mean GPT? No? So many acronyms and so many things and so many questions that we ask ourselves in our inner side. It's not about what we told to the others, no, what we say, yes, or yes, I'm using it, right? It's more about internally what that means for each one of us, AI, and how we use it. What we think internally and what that means to use AI. Some of you will say, yes, it's digital tools. It's about digitalization. It's about using a new way of software. It's a new, probably, user interface. It's something that I can use for my clients and for my providers and for anyone who I'm related in my tourist SME, my touristic SME, mine, right? Me. Again, we think always in our inner, we ask questions in ourselves, inside us, as us with the others. Okay, but this is the news that I'm going to tell you today. It's about an age of transition. We are transitioning to something that is clear and very important. We are not alone. We are not alone, and when we are not alone, we need to communicate with other human beings. And these other human beings, and also I will say other living animals, okay? We communicate as a human being. We have this capability. And how we do it? We do it because, and this is where I start and where I will finish, because we are ethos. When we talk about ethical, we talk about this word from the Greek ethos that means ourself, character, which is our character, which is our values, who we are as a person. This is what we have in our backpack. We have several things in our backpack, where we have born, who were our parents, who were our children, friends, what happens to us over our life, what we study, where we live. All that is our backpack for several years. Sometimes years means a lot of experience or less of experience. Think that people who is very young had already lived a lot. Right? It's not about age, it's about backpack, about what we have been. Wow, no? This is more psychological than technological. That's true, that's true. This is why the tech people, we need to talk more about humanism. Because it's true that what is happening now is something beautiful. It's something that we in the tech world are talking about closing the cycle. We have been delivering over the last 30 years tools that connect us all together through a thing that we call internet. We were connecting the world to do something much bigger, much larger, better. But sometimes, you see, we have been just focusing on the leaf of the trees, but not on the good. Why I say that? Because the problem is that how many phones, mobile phones, do you have right now in your hands, in your backpacks, or with you? At least one. Yes, when we think on tech, we think on something very physical, and something that is a screen, that is a computer, that is a keyboard, that is a mouse. Okay, well, this guy, 56, right, very far away, these guys were technicians, were scientists, and they were studying about computer science. At that time, no, in 1956, they met together, right, I miss some women there. It's true. That was at that age. Maybe nowadays we will have another women there or more than one. But the truth is that they met. They were very, very intelligent people that they were looking after computer science as one thing. What can be done for the human being in a higher level? And what differentiates us from other living creatures? What we call intelligence, no? But it's not about intelligence in a single word. It's about our capability as a human beings in a different levels to do mathematical equations. No? When I say that, that means 1 + 1 is 2. Okay, I don't mean more sophisticated math, that it exists too. But anyone will learn when we are kids to do 1 + 1 is 2. Right? We learn more things over the ages. We also learn how to use the language, how to communicate. Mama, papa, yes, daddy, floor, friend. We learn when we are kids the language. And more, we sophisticate it and we learn different languages. We learn to use connectivity. Remember, we are human beings, we are learning constantly. We have inputs constantly. Well, these guys, they said, how we can reproduce that with software and hardware, how we can collect data to make that, to do something with that, and to have intelligence reproduced over the world to help us to be a little bit better. And they did it. This is about so many years, and we are flow. We flash back one moment, 1956, and now we are in 2024. Quite a lot of years, quite a lot of developments, a lot of tech, all of us connected, SMEs in tourism using NFTs somehow, okay, and using, of course, podcasts generated. Amazing, right, what we have been done. So now we have another big step. And to do this big step, and this is why we are here today, we need a little bit to step backwards, start again, and a little bit rethink why and how we are doing that, but for sure, what we are doing. Okay, these guys, and this is the problem we face now, and this is a challenge that we solve together, is that we are connected, right? We are over-connected, maybe, but what we are now for sure, we have a new step on AI. And this new step is allowing us to better communicate, not just using language, but also nodding, pointing, right? What we do, the humans, to communicate. We do several things. It's not just about words. It's also about how we message each other just with a single sight. Or tell me who don't say to their partner, you are doing something wrong with a single sight. Like, yes, I know, sorry, right? Oh, you are doing great with a single smile. Yes, I like what you say, right? It's not about that. So we have done that. We have processed that. We have been processing language. We are able to do what we call natural language processing. That is, for me, the old AI. And we have the new AI. And the new AI is about using what we learn to generate new things. And when I say new thing, it's not about substituting anything. It's about that. It's about creativity. It's about generation. It's about creating new things. And how we should create that, why we should create that. This is a little bit more tech for you, but just for me to follow with me. Until now, AI systems have been work in using language in a very precise way. No? How we write a sentence, no? With a verb, with an article, in several languages, mostly in English, but we have also in other languages, and we use the sentences to ensure that we embed knowledge on that sentence. Remember, data with a context is information, with a reference is knowledge, no? Connecting knowledge is wise, is wisely, no? Is creating something new. Well, we have been done that, the embedding, no, the sentences, but now from 2015, we are doing another thing. We are using as our brain no? And this is why we know and why we do that now, because science has taught us more about our brain, how our work our brain, what about our neurons. So that what happens right now is that what we are doing is collecting information as we do as a human beings. Some of you maybe will remember everything of your life. No? The 1st of September of 2000, where you were, what you did, maybe. But the most of us, we remember few things, or very little. We remember what was really important. The 5th of September of 2000, I win a competition and was my first medal. And this is what I remember. You will remember when you were, no? When you were celebrating a big party, when you... This is what is happening now with this new generation of AI. They are using only some data, some information, not all. But with that information, with really this little piece of information, very key, we generate all the rest of the environment. Okay, with all the data about Obama president in the net, with all this data in the internet, and we will talk about if we get this data honestly or not, okay, then this is another approach. But with all this data, I can assume I can write a biography as a human being will do it about the President Obama when he was the former president of the US. What happens if you do that is that some mistakes are done there. Why? Because I'm just using few of the information that is key, but I'm adding to this new generation something that could be real. And this is what we need to know when we use generative network, no? Generative AI is generative, maybe it's not for sure real. What is the work we need to do with that? Be human and check it, do the check, and somehow use it for inspiration or either improve it. Right? So this is the first learn. Use generative thinking that is something creative, but it's not the mathematical trust of everything. It's just something that could inspire. It's just something that could be 99% true, but what is true? And this is about that. We are humans, but what we are doing with AI right now is do things that are human-like, like humans. And this is what we need to put into upon when we use AI for tourists. Don't fool your clients or your providers. Don't tell them that for sure this is happening because you generate something with AI. Just tell them the truth. We are delivering this service because we are using the latest technology, and that is something we think is cool because it's much better than what we have before. And that is what we are doing. What is cool? What is cool is that in 1 second, we can generate voice, real human-like voice, delivering, I hope, a message that you really believe and is true. But what is interesting is not the message, because the message is your responsibility. What is interesting is that you reduce your time to create human-like things to better communicate. Remember, humans, we want to communicate with humans. Yes, to do something interesting. That is the second thing. Not just the voice, but also the body, also human-related, human-like people, real people, and also messages. So something very complex, nowadays we can do it in a very simple way. But this is about how we do it, but this is not about what we do and why we do it. This is still us. No? It's still what we need to study. It's very important for me what I put here. If we are using right now any AI generative tool, is that tool making us to be more humans or not? And what we understand for more humans? Because remember, we have a lot of different types of humans. All of us, we are different. So it's making us more humans means it's making us more different. It's helping us to be more diverse. It's helping us to connect with more people in a much more personalized way. Because if not, this is not using AI at the high speed, at the very good and high impact. Right? This is what we need to do. We need to think about if our tools, if what we do in our SME is much more human-like in terms of voice, in terms of language, in terms of body, in terms of objects. Are we connecting each other? I don't care if I'm in Finland or I'm in Spain. We are more connected or less connected because we are having a screen between us. This is what we need to think about. Okay? And the good news is that language is only 7% of the impact in communication. 7% the words are important in our communication. Yes, only 7%. It's important that I have a translator for my SME. Yes, it's important, but not the most important. Okay? Think about 38% is voice. It's important that I can deliver message to my clients, to anyone that works with me, using voice. Is much more important than just putting text. So think on your websites, think on your tools, no? How you announce yourself. It's only text, or you have some kind of, or you could have some kind of podcast or voice there, because it's much more human-like, much more communicating your message. But more than that, body language. Can you translate yourself in front of your clients? They can see you, or they can see your team, because this is about us in the 21st century. We want to see people. We don't want to see anymore just pictures of beautiful places. We like the beautiful place with somebody there, and somebody enjoying the experience. How we are like that. We like enjoying moments, enjoying the experience. We want to change a lot of comments, information. We are the generation who is behind the COVID. Remember, we are in the 2024. We like human experience. So this is what AI with the generation can make for you much more easier. But you need to put your interest on that. Yes, this is what had been done before pandemics. No, this is a large operator, this telecom operator, who really did that for girls. No, they were trying this 5G. Remember, we are still talking about 5G, but still in the labs we are talking about 6G and 7G connectivity. Later on, we will talk about connectivity, but what is important about that is that they had this experience with the captain in UK, and she was like real human for them, for the little kid to ask her in real time questions to the captain. The captain was really far away, but with sensor, they teletransported in the scenario. And all the girls that were there in Birmingham, sorry, I never pronounce right in English that. So they had this experience, really, really touchable experience. The girls will comment about that for ages. That is something you can do. Good news, that was 2018. 2024, we are much better. It's much cheaper, it's much easier to do it. This is the next step, inspiration. To do so, and I hope after this, my talk, you can think about it, what you are doing that is from the old century. What happens before 2015? What you are doing that still is using tools that have more than 30 years. What you are doing in terms of using tools. Because this is not about using new tools in digital. This is about yourself and your business. How your business has been evolved is really the core ethics, the core needs, why you do it. Each one of you, we are talking about SMEs and micro SMEs. This is about people talking to people and delivering services, tourist services to any other human being. So you right now need to do this question. I'm still looking at doing a fantastic guest house, but I want to be globally. No, I want to offer that globally. I can do it. Yes, you can do it. And this is the big and the major question. You can do new things, but you can be trust to yourself, authentic to the real purpose of why you created this company. Because yes, that's the good news. With AI, generative generation of AI, of data, is helping us to do it in a much more cheaper way, a much more easy way. I wanted to show you and to think in this. If you want that your business is much more successful, put the emphasis in your inner reflection. Who you are, what you want to transmit to the people, how you are connecting to them. So your eyes will be visible. It's not about substituting yourself by avatars. It's about these avatars having your eyes and your message and your inner inspiration. So, yes, I will tell you about all that. Tourism has changed. We have all these new tools. It's 360. You have thousands of tools nowadays in the net. Some of them free, some of them not. You can create virtual assistants. You can create safety and security. You can create alerts. All of that can be done by 1 or 2 people or 3 people. You don't need a large team. That's the good news, okay? But if you are a large team, also you can use it. The point is not each one of these 10 elements where you can use AI. For me, the point is something like very simple like this one. Let me give you this short example. This is Nuran. Nuran, I love it because it's come from a friend of mine. It's not because it's a friend of mine. It's because it's one of the 10 most important immunologists in the world. She's working with sclerosis from long time ago. She's one of the best investigators. She's a biologist, and she has been living abroad. She's a PhD, and her profession was not at all any tech related. But last year, all the knowledge that she has about how important is having a good diet, a good nutrition for the ones who has this illness and the ones who are recovering them, it was very important. She said, how I can teach much more patients, how I can let people who has this sclerosis multiple be around, knowing that they need to eat differently. So she created this company, Nuran, and what she did is create podcasts, right? I told you, voice first, then words. So she did it with this example. Marv AI is one of the tools of hundreds you can find. If you go to her page, and I recommend it, you will find videos of herself, but she's not talking. She has put the words, but she has used this AI tool to just generate different voices in different languages, a lot of languages. She's making an impact. It's easy. Somehow, I will tell you that she dedicates a lot of hours. Yes, but very useful hours. It's about how many times you will use to make an impact. I recommend this one, and I can tell you that this is now the challenge we have, all of us. From all these tools, which ones are the ones for myself? Again, what and why I'm going to use generative AI. And then the second question, if I'm going to use it, look at this. This is a paper. This is a paper that tells us all that you have, machine learning, all that has an ethical question. And this is what Nick was saying. We don't have to have fear. We need to have conscience. Because whatever tool that we use, we need to use it being very clear of who is behind, what is the data that has been used, and if we are doing that for within our ethos, within our character. Being ethical is being really, really trustable to yourself. And that is something we need to think about it always, but nowadays more. I will close here. Thank you very much. I hope I give you a little bit of questions around, and think about yourself and use the tools in a very wise manner. Thank you very much.
That was really inspiring. I think you set the scene and you kept it human, which is obviously really key. And just looking at everybody in the room, I think if you're a SME, you know that your business is built on your own individual personal passion. And if that's removed, you don't have a business. But I think also for a lot of the hubs that are helping businesses, the enterprise agencies. Oh, I do apologize. I forgot about the guys on the stream. Hello, everybody. So I think you heard that. So also, I think for the enterprise agencies and DMOs that are helping the industry, your job is communication, first and foremost. And I think there's really, really good advice there. You can accelerate, you can become more performant, more productive, and even communicate more effectively to more people with AI. And I think, seeing this potential not to replace but augment what you do is really exciting. So do you guys have some questions? I have the mic. I can leave the stream cam. So who has a question for Monse? No? Wow, they're very shy. Okay. So, yes. Good. I will run over here.
What practical tips would you have for people to be more conscious in their use of AI? Because I think sometimes we look at using AI as a shortcut for doing things that are boring or laborious. So being more conscious.
Yes, I think the reality is I think the tip is yourself, no? It's how you want to the message, the message, no? You know your business. But what really needs to be more conscious is if I put myself, in the shoes of your client, what they will look at me, what I want that he knows or she knows about my business, or about myself. So this is the conscious, is really, really what I want that they look about myself. Because you are going to use AI just as a channel, but a very powerful channel because it's going to represent yourself. It's not anymore, this is a classical one from before. Yes, you need some information. Look at my website. Really? Look at my website? No, communication is much more shorter. It's much more, we need people understanding that your website is yourself. So if I want to ask you something, your website needs to reproduce yourself. So this is about being conscious.
Do we have any other questions? Maybe one reference that I would point to, which I think is really interesting what you're saying, because we talked a lot about podcasts. Exactly, the communication, and also to these guys, is the Spotify DJ. Has anybody tried this? Yeah? It's really cool. And when you play Spotify DJ, it talks to you. I don't use Spotify, to be honest. But it would say, if I did, it would say, hey, Nick, here's some tunes based that should inspire you for your next trip to Barcelona.
Exactly.
And that is, it feels as real as a DJ, and it's hyper personal. So I think sometimes also it's seeing the opportunity to be edgy, to do something different, and to be really, really upfront. I love what you said about transparency, because I think this is the biggest risk for all of us, is if we use it and we don't say we're using it. But use it and brag about it. Say, we've created this playlist for you with AI, and I hope you like it.
Exactly.
And if you don't,
Exactly. This is another example, and we were commenting with some of you. This is about how we can manage a large number of people who is very different to us. So it's just explaining them, look, we have been looking at all of you, and in average, I myself, Monse, speaking Chinese, or Chinese or French, or because most of you are speaking French, Let me make this little trick and send a message first in French and then in Spanish. So this is somehow explaining to the people that your business at that moment is more about the French area or the French travelers. I use French, I could use Finland. So somehow you need to be transparent about, I'm getting data from yourself, and this is not just put cookies and say I accept it. It's changing that. Forget, cookies will be over the last 2 years, but we need to change. You don't need to get cookies. People should be able to give you the data as because they think that you must get their data.
I think
And
that
this is the question.
The word consent is really something we need to see as something that's, first of all, obligatory, required,
Exactly.
but more than anything, it's a good thing. If people consent to give us their data, we can
Exactly.
create something exceptional
Exactly.
for them.
It's not consenting because, yes, I have to, if I cannot say I accept all cookies, I cannot move forward with your service. It's the opposite. Is I want to accept your cookies because I really want you to serve me.
Exactly.
And this is the change we need to have.
That's a great note to end on as we move over to the more practical side. So let's give another round of applause. Thank you very much, Monse. So Gianfranco is going to now tell us and show us how you've been working with one SME in particular and helping them to really apply AI. So this is, I think, probably the tips and tricks part of today, where you can really get a lot of ideas and inspiration and see just how it can deliver results for you. All good there?
All good.
All good. Great. Over to you.
We're going to do a little live demo. Some things are pre-made, some things will be live demos, so we're going to cross our fingers that the tools help us, because with live demos, we know how it goes. I'm good? Yes. All right, so we're going to get to a little practical session about how to use some AI tools. I will be sharing my screen, and I'm going to be changing within different tools, so it's going to be a bit, a lot of movement on the screen. But I want you to see some tools that you can use for free, experience with them, try them out. They're not perfect. Nothing is perfect right now. Everything is very initial, the technology itself. So don't expect perfect results. But as Monse said, it's very good to use it as a rough draft, something to start with, and then to generate a bit more of your own. So I want to start with a little video presentation to welcome you all to the...
Tervetuloa tähän työpajaan, jossa opimme käyttämään tekoälytyökaluja sisällön luomiseen. Toivottavasti nautit siitä.
I want to ask our Finnish colleagues, did I say it right, what I said? Yeah, so my practice of the language was good, right? Took me a while to learn your language. I'll show you how I did this. So this is a tool called HeyGen. I originally just recorded myself in English, and I went to this tool, heygen.com, uploaded the YouTube link, and then I told them that I wanted to translate the video from English to Finnish, in this case. I can't do it now because it's going to take longer, but you can see there. I tried first in Polish, then in Finnish. And as you can see on the presentation, my lips are moving. It's not necessarily, like, it doesn't look so robotic.
Tervetuloa tähän
My body's actually moving like that.
jossa opimme käyttämään tekoälytyökaluja sisällön luomiseen. Toivottavasti nautit siitä.
It's not about lying or trying to pretend something we're not, but because, I mean, I think we could be transparent about the fact that we're using, and we should be transparent about the fact that we're using AI tools. But this tool like this one could break a lot of barrier communications. If you send a personalized video to your guests before they come on their language, I think they'll appreciate it as a nice gesture. Also, another tool that I can show you about breaking language barrier. I'll have to open it, because that one I wasn't thinking about showing, but I think it's going to go like that. Some ideas will come to mind. If you have a lot of meetings online, I had a meeting with a French guest not long ago, and I don't speak French. I can understand, but I don't speak French. This tool, if you add it to your Google Meets, Teams, or Zoom, is going to show you a transcript live as the other person is speaking their language, so you can read it, and then it gives you time at least to respond better instead of like having to really pay attention if it's not your language. So this one really helped me talk to a guest not long ago, and they were really impressed, and so was I. So I mean, it also takes a transcript of your meetings. Later you can talk to that transcript and ask it questions like, hey, what were the key steps or next steps talked and stuff. But for language, breaking the language barrier, I also recommend this one. So now I'll keep going with with the presentation. Oh, no, I don't want to see myself anymore. So why we're going to talk about content creation with AI tools. In this day and age, content is still king. In the digital age, we're all creating content for our social media, for our websites. So that's why, I mean, we could talk about many AI tools and how they can help us, but we don't have time for everything, so I decided to center it around content. And I believe that very soon, AI will be the queen of content creation. And later we'll see, once AI becomes a queen of content creation, what's going to be our role as humans. So from this session, I just want you to take a couple things. First, that these tools that I'm showing you are available for all of us, at least on a freemium version, so you can try them for free. If you see that they fit your business model or what you want to do, go ahead and pay. But this is a great moment to start experimenting with them. It's not about the tool itself. It's not about HeyGen or ChatGPT or whatever, because we don't know who the winner is going to be. These tools are going to keep evolving. But if we experiment right now, we're going to be able to understand better how they work, and we're going to be able to adapt to whatever tool comes to us. When Nick asked who's using AI, very few people, like on a daily basis, very few people raised their hand. Recently, I listened to a talk that said that next year, we're going to be impacted by AI about 5,000 times a day. We're already using AI on many of the tools that we already use, but we just don't know that they're implementing AI. Our Gmail already kind of pre-writes our responses. That's AI. Google Translate, after 2015, as Monse showed, that was a big jump on translation. That's because of the transformer architecture. So we're already using AI. And I believe that we must understand and learn how to use AI in order to remain relevant. If we want to have sustainable businesses, to keep growing, to keep evolving, we like it or we don't, we have to start learning how to use these tools. Otherwise, we're going to fall behind. We don't want our competition to get ahead or OTAs or whatever. We need to stay relevant. So my suggestion is that you start experimenting, and I hope I inspire you to do so. I want to thank David, because we're going to use a little bit of a use case from his company, from the Cerdaña Eco Resort. We're going to do a little campaign and content creation. So for text, I'm going to use ChatGPT. I hope all of you have tried it at least once. I'll give you some tips of how to use it. First, when you create a prompt or an instruction to ChatGPT or to any large language model, there's different elements to the prompt. We don't always put all the elements, but you should try to put them all. The elements are the input, which is pretty much what you're telling it to do. The instruction, so here you can see them. No, like give me 10 Instagram content ideas. The give me is the instruction. The input is the 10 Instagram content ideas. Context, we need to give them context. What is it about? What are we doing? What is it for? And an output indicator. That means, how do I want the result to be? Give it to me as a list. Give it to me, I don't know, on a diagram. So the more precise we are, the better results we're going to get. A couple other tips. Be very clear on what you want when you're asking. Be very specific. Ask question by question. Don't just throw all your questions around. Provide examples. If you provide examples of how you want the result to be, the result is going to be better. That's a technique, actually. Role-playing, so you can ask ChatGPT or whoever, act as a role or as a specific person, and that's also going to give you better results. And this one may sound weird, but experimenters and researchers say it works, and I've tried it, and it works. I don't know if most of you say it works. Yes? If you ask ChatGPT to take a deep breath, relax, and think step by step before giving you your answer, it's going to give you a better answer.
Did not know that one.
Why this is because these models have been trained on content from the internet, content created by humans. Humans, when we think step by step, when we take deep breaths, we work better. So that's what it thinks, and that's what it happens. Actually, in December, a lot of people that were using ChatGPT on a daily basis realized and were posting in forums and on internet that ChatGPT was not working a lot. Like, it was not working well in December. And then some researchers said that it had learned that December was a slow month of the year, that it should take a break. And apparently people started telling it, it's October, so start working like this. We're just learning how these tools work. The more we experiment, the better we're going to use them. So that's part of my biggest suggestion. Just experiment, try different things and everything. So we're going to do this content. What info do we have? We have the website of the experience. We're going to go with the live reset experience, so I can open the website, but I already copied and pasted the content. So we have the website, and also David provided me with a buyer persona, who we're talking to. That's very important when we talk about context. And we're going to use ChatGPT, as I said. So I already have ChatGPT open, and I have a prompt pre-created. As you can see, it's a very large prompt. I'm not going to read it all, but this is why I had to prepare it before. What am I talking? So here I'm giving it a role. You're an expert in digital marketing, in the tourism industry, with vast knowledge and experience in wellness tourism, because we're talking, this is a wellness experience. Your job, so I'm continuing with the role. Then I'm giving it context. I'm talking about the company. I'm talking about the details of the experience. I keep talking about the experience, the methodology. So I'm giving it all the context that I can. And then a little bit here, I tell them who we're talking to, so our buyer persona. This buyer persona was provided by the company to me. No? So Jordi, a single man who's been working hard, and the demographic, and blah, blah, blah. His interest, so I go very deep on the buyer persona. And then I'm going to give you the instruction. I want you to give me your best 7 ideas for Instagram Reels to promote this experience to Jordi. Give me ideas that have high potential of reaching virality. So I'm just going to copy all these, and I'm going to hope that it doesn't take a million years to reply. Just in case, I'm using ChatGPT 4, which is the paid version. It's 20 euros a month, but I highly recommend it. And then I'm going to show you a couple things that you can actually do with this paid version and why I recommend paying 20 euros a month, which I hope that we can all think that it's a good investment. So while it thinks, let's hope it doesn't take a long time to think. It should give me a list of 7 ideas. And David, since this is your company, I'm going to ask you to pick one of the ideas so we can further develop it. Okay? Yeah, I didn't want to have everything pre-made, so it's going to take a little bit. Well, while it does, I'm going to tell you other things that you can do with ChatGPT 4. You can create your own GPTs. It's called My GPTs. These GPTs, you can train using a technique called RAG, which means it's pretty much giving it your text, your documents, your PDFs. As you can see on the top left corner, I have Profe GPT, Veronica, Podcast Planner. I have a podcast, so I have a GPT that helps me to plan my podcast. And I give them documents regarding my brand, regarding my voice, regarding my buyer persona, whatever I needed to know. So that way I don't always have to give it the same instructions, and that GPT is constantly learning from the way I interact with it. That already saves me a lot of time. That's why I was one of the persons that raised their hand that I use it daily. That's one already a big use case, because you can, for example, I also have an accommodation business. Right now we're still experimenting with it. I cannot say that it works perfectly. But we have a GPT that has all of our manuals, our processes, all how the PMS works, how the channel manager works. Everything that you can think of that sometimes you need answers like, oh, this is happening, how do I do a refund? And I have all the manuals there, so our front desk team right now, if I don't want them to call the manager always for something that they can look for themselves, but it's very hard to go on Drive and look for a 100-page manual for the answer. They have the GPT to ask. Technically, I've given it instructions not to hallucinate or not to look for answers outside of those documents. You have to be very specific. I have to say, it works 92% of the times. Hey, but you know, it already saves time. You need to give it, sharpen it with more instructions. David, have you picked already one of these? I mean, it doesn't have to be perfect.
Well, the first one would be good, yes.
Okay, transformation journey teaser. All right, so we're gonna continue creating this Instagram reel, right? Okay. So I'm gonna first, okay, I'm gonna show you that on ChatGPT, when you have the paid version, you can go and use plugins. This one is called Pictory Video. So this one is specifically for video creation. So I'm gonna Pictory Video, yeah, this one. I'm gonna start the chat. So there's a lot of people creating these GPTs to perform specific tasks. So it's better sometimes, once you try them, to use these ones. So now we're gonna take the idea from the first GPT and then continue developing with Pictory. Okay, so I'm gonna ask it to create a video. Create a script first for the, this is a live demo. I could be more precise and but time is king. Jordi is my audience. All right, so he's asking me for my audience. That's good. At least he knows that we should have an audience. So I already have this. Here's a description of the buyer persona. Here. Go back. For buyer personas, for example, another use case, and actually Vueling has this, it's called Persona AI. They don't do it with an open GPT, but they have a GPT for each buyer persona. So when they're creating a new experience or new content or whatever, they talk to that buyer persona to see if it resonates with them. So they've created this digital persona with all their information about the buyer persona, so they can kind of bounce ideas off their clients without necessarily contacting their clients. And that Vueling actually does that internally. All right, so he's giving me this whole thing, no? Another tip is never stay with the first result. Always change things, because this is a machine. Like, if you want to differentiate, you need to put your own context, your own company, your own narration. You need to interact with the machine. But for example's sake, we're just going to keep going with the machine tells us, okay? The script looks great. Let's go for it. Would you like the revisions? Or this? Oh, it aligns perfectly. Thank you. But never stay with the first answer. Otherwise, we're just giving away our power to the machine. It's not about that, yeah?
I love it that you add please.
Always. Please and thank you. Mm-hmm. Great. Before you proceed, are you aiming to publish this video on Instagram? So it wants to know what format. All right. Hopefully it won't take a long time. But if not, I can, oh man, male voice for Jordi. All right. We'll give it time to work. Then later we'll see what it does. And then I'll continue with more parts, OK? So this is what I just did. We'll see the results. Now here I want to show you another tool that's called Runway, where you can create short, very, very short videos, 4 seconds for free, out of pictures. This picture is from David's website, the picture on the left. Just a woman looking to the amazing landscape. And I can make that landscape, the clouds move and things happen. I'm not an expert. I'm not how you say, like a designer or anything. There's better ways to do it, but just so you see, and now I'll show you how to do it. Of course, you can see that the body changes shapes, and it's kind of weird, but you're making the clouds move. You're giving a little action to a still image. You can come up with a use for that, probably. So you go to Runway. I'll show you how to do it. We're going to try it now live while the other one is working. So first, on Runway, this is another picture also from David's website. Runway allows us to create, and this is free, I'm not paying for it, okay? Videos from text or from images, okay? So now I'm gonna do it from an image. So I uploaded the image, and this technique or this functionality is called motion brush. So I'm like, and this is, you can see how easy it is. I'm just selecting the clouds, and I'm gonna be like, okay, I want the clouds to move to the left a little bit. There's a lot of tutorials on the website, so you can understand exactly what each thing does to make it look more natural. And then I'm gonna select the plants, and I'm gonna make them move like the wind a little bit, like I'll make them move to, whoop. I don't want the mountains to move. That would just be weird, no? Yeah, it's very. And this one, that's fine.
Less than the.
I did it wrong. Reset, sorry. So I want to create 2 different movements, so I have to do it with 2 different brushes. So this brush is gonna move horizontal to the left. Then I'm gonna select another brush, and I'm gonna go with the plants for another brush. Bam, bam. Okay, I'm not gonna be so perfect, yeah? No? Okay. And I'm gonna ask him to move to the right a little bit. I'm gonna say done. And I'm gonna generate these 4-second videos. While it works, what we need to pay attention to is that all these videos have this icon or tag that shows that they're being created with AI. That's important when we're talking about ethics. And all of these companies are also talking about creating a meta tag, so some tags that are in the code that we cannot modify. So when we upload these pictures or videos into social media, they're going to be automatically tagged as created by AI. And that's good. That's good to protect us as users. And there's nothing wrong with using AI to create content. Let's see if the first video finished. Where am I? Here. Oh, allow. Sorry. OK, this one's still working. I'm good with time? OK. We'll let them work while we keep going. What else can we do? We're talking about videos. This one is another video that I created with Runway, but this one I just did text. So I gave it not a picture. I said, a 40-year-old man, because I'm still thinking of Jordi, enjoying a hiking excursion in the beautiful nature. And this is what created for us. It's not bad. If you pay, you can extend the videos. This is just 4 seconds, but this is to give us a little teaser of what can be done. Before I continue, I wanted to see the results of the other ones. Otherwise, OK, no, this one's good. When we want to create characters and we want a consistent character to go through all of our content, so like every time I tell the AI, Jordi walking here, one time it's going to be one looking Jordi, another time it's going to be a different one. It might not make sense for our content. There's this other AI called Artflow, where we can create characters and then animate those characters, put them in different scenes and everything. So also this one with the free version, I gave the same buyer persona, and these are the Jordi, different pictures of Jordi that he created. I don't know if this could be the Jordi that would go to the eco resort, but that's what the AI thought. And I'm going to show you what you can do with this one. I'm not going to go through it because this one takes a longer time, but just so you can see, it's called Artflow. So first you create a character, which is what I did. Then you can generate the character in different backgrounds. So for example, we'll go to Story Studio. No. Just want to see some examples of what they do. Character builder. So these are some characters that they already have pre-made. You can put them in different backgrounds, different scenes, and then you can animate them. So then you can create videos from those characters. Of course, this takes time. It's not magic. But if you need this and you want to experiment with it, it's a great tool. It created that character for us. And here also what's good about all these tools is that they need you to learn how to use them in order to get better. So there's always tutorials in order to better practice with the tools, okay? And they're actually quite good. So I know. Let's see if we have, okay, here. For a minute, please be there, we appreciate it. Oh, we sincerely apologize for the inconvenience caused. So there is no way for GPT to talk to our plugin for picture. This is live demos, this is what happens. But yeah, try it out at home. Hopefully the other one will work. Yeah, this one worked. So I don't know why she's stretching out because I didn't ask her to move, pero bueno. It's weird, huh?
Cringe.
Like I said, it's not perfect. But if you look at what you can do and what other people do, not me, you'll be quite impressed. You're like, whoa, these things were made with this tool, and look how weird I do. Look at the tutorials and get better with it. But now you're gonna be like, okay, all cool, but like your videos suck. They're not good. I'm not impressed. I cannot use that. I wouldn't use that myself either. I'm just saying experiment. I'm not impressed. But look what's coming very soon. OpenAI just released, this is 2 weeks ago, Zora. This is a video fully created with AI. The prompt is, a stylish woman walks down Tokyo street filled with warm, glowing, you can see that. That's all AI. Nothing exists here. Zero. Of course, if you see at the steps, some people kind of do like a weird step. It's not perfect, but it's very close to perfect. This right now, it's only available for researchers, for video creators, because they're getting feedback. They're trying to put all the ethical implications in it, so it's not in our hands yet. But I'm pretty sure 2024, so this year, sometime in the second half of the year, we're going to be able to experiment with this, at least with a very short version. So what I'm showing you looks horrible compared to this. We're going to be able to do this very soon. So if you experiment with the other tools, you'll be able to squeeze the juice out of this tool even better. That's more or less where I'm going. This is already here. This is all AI. Go into openai.com/Sora, and you'll see many of them. And they have the physics right, and the dust, and the coffee. It's crazy. So yeah, it's okay not to be impressed with the other things. I wasn't impressed either. All right, so another thing that I wanted to show you, it's about creating landing pages. We all need to sometimes do something rather quick that maybe we just need to get out there, and we need to do it with a short amount of time to show like a presentation or something. We can already create landing pages that are quite good and that work with a website called Mixo. You have one landing page for free, so we're going to try it out. This one works quite fast. Describe your startup idea. I'm always going to go with the same idea. So we have okay, the experience. At first, you only give it the idea, and then it does everything. Of course, that's not going to be very personalized to our use case, but then you can actually edit it. So let's say I want people to contact me, and my phone, and I'm going to ask it to generate. If anybody has created a website, websites have become easier and easier to create. It doesn't take a lot of time with WordPress or with any builder, but it doesn't take so little time like this. But of course, then later you need to tweak it a little bit. Let's see what it does. You can actually publish these sites, only one page. So here it's created a 2-pager. You can publish one page for free. I've done it for like a little course landing page to try it out, and it worked with a form for people to sign up. And then you can rewrite the text, edit, and then just kind of go. But you can use it as a basic structure. Look, it's already kind of put in pictures that maybe fit with our message or of mindfulness. It has nothing to do with the mountains. that we have here. This is a different landscape, but it already creates a landing page that you can start working with. This one works very well, and I also recommend that you try it out, Mixo. All right, so getting to the end. So when AI becomes the queen of content, when it can do all this perfectly, that is coming very soon, as we've seen with the video, what's going to be about us, no? What's our role? So I believe AI is about content, but humans are about context. So we've been talking a lot about experiences, about the human touch, about the narrative around what we do, and that's what we need to provide. I believe that we can, especially as small companies, we can use these tools to be more productive, to do a little bit more than what we're doing now, but we shouldn't delegate, or we should try not to delegate what is the human connection part, the customer service, like, oh, just speak to our website. Of course, you can have a chatbot, that's very good, but then always with the correct guardrails in order for a person to talk in case it's needed. But as humans, what we're going to have to do and put more attention on, it's on creating the right context for our experiences to work, for our companies to keep growing, and maybe we can actually delegate some of these more tedious tasks to these AIs or something else. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, João Marco, also for showing us that it doesn't always work. I think it's also good to see, maybe an experience we've all had. If I just wrap up what I think I've seen in the last hour, we were actually talking, I was talking with Marta about time and resources. As much as all of these make everything go really fast, you end up spending a lot of time figuring them out, perfecting them, prompting them, so you can do a lot more, but then you spend more time doing a lot more, somehow. I think cost is something that's maybe a bit deceptive there, because they all have a freemium model, and then if you were to invest in 3 or 4, you're already spending a lot of money. They do very, very narrow tasks, so that can quickly run out of control, and it's also maybe quite difficult for small businesses. Ethics, I don't need to say much, except maybe I will refer to Eleonora. Your business is all about inclusivity, and you ask for an image of someone doing something. It will be racially biased, ability bias, and everything else bias, because it's trained in not the best way. And then creativity and knowledge, I think that our roles and the skills and everything, there's just massive questions there. We never thought creativity would be replaced. And I was always saying to people, if your job can be trained, it can be replaced. Now I don't say that, because if your job can't be trained, it can still be replaced with generative AI. So a lot of food for thought. We don't have any time, unfortunately, to dip further into this. So let's give them both a round of applause, and really insightful. Thank you very much. Thank you for joining. And I'm going to hand back now to Sandra to take us to the TOURBIT wrap-up, and we'll hear from all of the partners.
Just let me put this here. Okay, so that was amazing. I think a lot of inspiration, ethicals, also operational tips. So now is the time to close a little bit this event. But before doing so, we would like all of you to know these 8 partners that have been working together to deliver this meaningful support to the digitalization uptake of tourism SMEs. So these are the 8 organizations that have been working within the TOURBIT project. I'm going to be calling one by one, so you're going to be coming up to the stage. Please come by order, if this is possible, okay? So first of all, we're going to have online, actually, it's going to be Frédéric from Hub Brussels, so I hope he is already connected online. Then Leonie, please, from Chamber of Commerce of Barcelona, if you want to sit, take a place. Also, Marta Salvador from NES, please take a seat, Leonie, like from here to there. Thank you. By order. Then if I can call Marie, please, from Paris & Co, also take a seat. David, Iceland Tourism Cluster. Katarina from Arthur. Anu from Lapland. Luas, University of Applied Science. Patrick Torren from Catalan Tourism Board. And Ignacio de las Cuevas. He's from Eurecat. Actually, he's an outsider, if I can say this like that. But basically, he has been managing another project, which is a sister project of TOURBIT. It's called Resetting. It was also having big impact in Europe and especially also in Catalonia. So we asked him to sit here together with us to learn a little bit more about these uptakes of this project. So now the idea is that very briefly, each of the partners that are sitting here are going to be telling us what are the uptakes of this TOURBIT project. So I have Marion here around with a timer, because we don't have a lot of time. So I'm going to be sharing a question and you're going to be having 2 minutes, okay? Great. So first of all, we're going to start with Frédéric. Hi, Frédéric. Are you listening to us well?
Hello, do you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Excellent. So then we would like to know how the TOURBIT project has helped Hub Brussels and also the Brussels capital region to implement your strategic objectives to support the tourism companies.
Well, indeed, it helps a lot, in fact. As you maybe know, we are the Economic Development Agency of the Brussels capital region, and we host several clusters of the region, including the Hospitality Brussels cluster. And we especially contribute to the region's development strategy, that's what we call the shifting economy. That's been decided by the government. And in a way, the project helps a lot. Because we basically support the transition to the small and medium-sized companies, which is the core target of our agency. And thanks to the project, working on digital, of course, we obtained, I think, the tools that we missed, or at least we improved our resources to do it at best possible for this very specific target, because it might happen that from one business support organization to another, we have a lot of tools for digitalization or assessing or helping in transforming the business model, but very often it needs to be adapted from one sector to another, because obviously what we use for industry is not suitable for a tourism industry, for instance. So as I say, my agency, Hub Brussels, is mandated for this specific task to the SMEs, and what we developed during the project, like the digital readiness index, the training materials, the creation of the community, is very well adapted to our public. And I think that's the very essence of the impact that we can observe from the cluster that we are managing. Now it's time to foresee the long-term continuation of all those results, all these tools. We talked a little bit about yesterday during the steering committee, and I'm very much looking forward what's coming up in terms of valorization of those results.
Thank you, Frédéric. Very interesting to see how our European project can support the implementation of a strategy of an organization, which is a business support organization, as it's your case. It's interesting to see how, from this strategy, we move towards the service that they are being delivered, how this European project, TOURBIT, has been supporting the delivery and improving maybe also the services. So, Leonie, how the project has helped your organization to tailor the services that they are offered by the Barcelona Chamber of Commerce?
Hello, thank you, Sandra, for this question. So, as Barcelona Chamber of Commerce, we are on the one hand side a representative institution for the business interests of all sectors, but on the other side, we are business support organizations. So our commitment is really to support businesses and businesses from all sectors and from all sizes, right? And as such, we offer services like really ranging from sustainability, digitalization, innovation, internationalization, etc. So, like thinking that we are offering tons of services, we are sometimes a tiny little bit like a supermarket. So you can come in and you find all types of products, right? So you go to the wine section and then you find the wine there. You have an expert recommending you a very like premium product, right? But it's sometimes a challenge, like offering so many services from so many different areas, to integrate these services, right? You might go to the wine section and get a very nice wine, and then you go to the cheese section, get a very nice cheese, but like how you make sure that the cheese matches the wine, etc. So here I think the TOURBIT project was a really, really good example how we could integrate like 2 different service areas that we have at the Chamber, which is the tourism department on the one hand side and the digitalization department on the other side. So really here we have a project that had a very straightforward mission with a service offer of added value for businesses ranging from training to consultancy to providing finance to them, and this really helped us also to integrate the services from like different business areas that we have at the Chamber, right? And it is a challenge in an organization as such to make sure that there is like working in a transversal way, right? And making sure that the services that we offer to the businesses have like a overall package and sense, no? So this was really, really a great way for us to integrating these services and provide a very specific and tangible service to the businesses and really producing also on the ground results for our target group.
Thank you. So from the services to the beneficiaries, no? Who is the beneficiary of these services? Marta, how TOURBIT has helped you to create these synergies between the startups and the tourism SMEs?
Yes, so regarding NEST, Tourism Innovation Center, we also promote the technology adoption throughout the value chain of tourism on a national level. So with this project, we are very much connected with the innovation ecosystem, so we have very much good connection with the startups and we promote the business, the solutions development, and TOURBIT was a tool to reach and to have a proximity to the SMEs. So in fact, I would highlight 3 main components here. The aspect of the collaboration, as Eleonora said earlier, there is a ton of solutions, tons of startups, so we can matchmake. This matchmaking between startups and SMEs was crucial. Then another thing for me, it was the strategic alignment with the SMEs' needs. We really have to hear their needs and understand, and really to redirect what the content we are making, it makes sense to them. And then in the end, the impact on the measurements, because at TOURBIT we have a lot of tools, we have to measure things, and we have data regarding all the initiatives that we've done, so we really can reflect on all of this to have further actions. So for me, it's this.
Thank you, Marta. So taking over the connecting comment that you have said, Maria, I think that you also mentioned that from Paris & Co, this TOURBIT project has also helped you to connect, actually, to build this network between tourism and digitalization. Can you tell us more about that?
Yes, exactly. So Paris & Co is the innovation agency of Paris, and we're working on the national level. Maybe you know the Welcome City Lab, which is now known as Paris & Co Tourism. So we work at the Paris & Co Tourism with startups. We help them grow on the French markets. So we were super connected with innovation, but not with SMEs in tourism. And TOURBIT helped us to connect these 2 worlds that has a lot to do together. So thanks to TOURBIT, we went further in a relationship and creating a dynamic network in startup to tourism startup and with tourism SMEs. And we went even further. We have created national partnership with the government, so we are now supported by France Num. So our startup and the tourism, the SME tourism can also work with the government now. So, and it's all thanks to TOURBIT. So we will move forward on this collaboration, and Paris & Co will strengthen his relationship goals.
Thank you very much, Marie. So still with this network concept, connection concept, also from Iceland Tourism Cluster, there has been an impact from the TOURBIT project on the ecosystem. So we are growing a little bit from synergies to network to the tourism ecosystem. Could you tell us a bit more, David, on how the TOURBIT project has helped the ecosystem of tourism in Iceland, please?
Yeah, the short answer is that it has helped a lot because it came the time when it started was a very good point of time, and we have seen the the total awareness in the environment of tourism and of the SMEs of the importance of how they can improve their work with more digitalization, and it has also been a very positive experience to see how in other players in the environment, like DMOs and so, that they have been coming in to encourage them to take these steps what they need. Of course, we are also talking about a lot of small players which tend maybe to not to have this on the first place in their work, but when they have when they are supported in that they should keep their focus on bringing better service and more innovation, and let the technique and the digitalization help them in a lot of routines and so. And the second thing that was also very interesting to see and very a positive effect was how it's maybe not a huge community of tech companies in Iceland, how they started to communicate within their groups and finding out that they were so facing challenges they thought they were alone in the world with, and could go on, and then also in the end how the tech companies and the SMEs finding platforms to come together also and put this dialogue on an ongoing base for the future, so that we can see something more coming out of it.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. That's actually a great connection with Katarina, with Arctur, which is at the company, because in the TOURBIT project we had some business support organizations, so mainly therefore, and then we had also at a company in order to do precisely what David was saying, not to connect these two worlds. And so now it's good to listen from the perspective of Katarina, the perspective of a tech company. What are the lessons learned in this regard? So bringing advanced technologies to the tourism sector. What do you have to say?
Yeah. So thank you for the question. Yeah, so Arctur has 32 years tradition in innovations in high technologies, and we also have Tourism 4.0 department, so we know tourism, we live tourism, and I think that a few years ago, I think it was in 2017, in Slovenia, we started to talk about bringing high technologies in tourism, you know, because tourism is very much oriented into people, you know. It's not traditionally a high-tech sector, you know. So I think with TOURBIT, we actually brought a tool, DRI, Digital Readiness Index, and provided it for the SMEs, because, you know, in order that SMEs can really assess their current state of the art, so which level of digitalization they currently are, then they can start leveraging technologies and digitalization, and they know where to put their internal resources. As today was very much told, we're talking about micro, very small tourism companies, which of course their prime work is oriented, focused on tourists, you know, in bringing quality service. So therefore, I think that SMEs now use real data. It's not anymore, you know, I think I should be doing this. It's like, you know, the tool, your data shows you that here you have to put your own resources in order to improve, optimize your work. You know, in that way you are saving time, and you can be doing so much more things, you know. And this is actually a great competitive advantage, of course, you know, because the world is changing, and also the SMEs have to improve. So.
Thank you, Katarina. So actually one complementary also, I think, important partner is the an important action also is the applied science. So it's extremely connected with a tech company, and therefore it was interesting to have also within the consortium of TOURBIT a university of applied science that it was able then to provide these insights more from the perspective of research. So Anu, what kind of insights did TOURBIT provide in terms of continuous learning and collaborative learning for tourism SMEs?
Thank you for the question, Sandra, and thank you, colleagues, for your insights. As we are an educational organization, so Lapland University of Applied Sciences, we have, of course, the learning is our key point, but also because we are an applied sciences in Finland, we have very strong regional development task. So basically, this project provided very much for both these aspects, learning and development. And we have been so inspired and happy to see all the companies, and we have very special companies, as you saw. They have been having the opportunity to take advantage of the project and what it provides. But also, I see that the project has acted as a learning platform for all stakeholders. So not only for the companies to be able to learn, like Eleanor said, but also for us to learn about the companies and their needs and what we can do to support them better, but also learning from colleagues. How are things from other countries and other regions, and what we can learn about that. So it has been really a joint collaborative effort in learning, and I think it really serves as a continuous learning platform, which is very important aspect. Yeah.
Thank you, Anu. So I think that this exactly this collaboration between all these partners is something that is also very strategical for a destination. So Patrick, how TOURBIT project can contribute or has been contributing to the tourism model that we are building in Catalonia?
Is crucial. In fact, when we are talking about the transformation model we want for our destinations, in the case of Catalonia in particular, for example, we are going in this transition from a volume model to a value model. And value is about values, is about human values. Technology helps us to concentrate in values, in human values, because technology helps us and digitalization helps us to resolve the transactions. We don't need to have our focus in transactions in order to become a more human destination, a more sustainable in terms of social and cultural sustainability destination. Is absolutely important to resolve the transactional problems with technology, with digitalization, and then we can focus exclusively in these human values. In the case when we have been absolutely impressed because the presentation about artificial intelligence, the final conclusion is that almost everything will be resolved thanks to the artificial intelligence, but not the emotions, not the creativity, not the human relations, not the links, not the skin. We need to have this capacity to touch and to be in contact in order to develop a different model we want for the future in our tourism. Tourism is experiences, and experiences is part of the emotions and is part of the passion. And we need to have it into our objectives as a model. And thanks to digitalization, we can achieve it.
Thank you very much, Patrick. So, Ignacio, from this project that I was mentioning, Resetting, sister project of TOURBIT, do you relate to any of these uptakes? Would you be able maybe to complement any of those or just take some of those? So maybe 3 words that to explain how Resetting has been contributing to this tourism SME digitalization.
Thank you. Thank you so much, and thank you for having an outsider in the roundtable. Resetting, actually, as a matter of fact, we are relaunching European smart and sustainable tourism models through digitalization and innovative technologies. We are a sister project of TOURBIT, and for me, what I think I take, because also in a 3 months' time, we're going to be exactly the same point as you are in the final conference. I think we made an impact in the region, and also working with mostly 5 southern Mediterranean countries, is bringing together the best of both worlds. And in that regard, I mean the technology and the digital world and the tourism world. I think we managed to create awareness. We managed to also build confidence and trust between training providers, organizations working in tourism and innovation, to also small and medium and micro enterprises. I think that it's the way we face, the way we kind of embrace digitalization can be really something scary for many people, anxious, but I think what we tried at all times, at least in Resetting, and I could see also in many other projects, like COSME-related projects, is to build the confidence that we could take the best out of it, and we can be an eye-opener for many SMEs who see digitalization as something really far away from their daily basis, daily operations.
Thank you, Ignacio, very much. So I think everybody deserves a huge applause. Thank you so much. And now, before closing, I'm going to give the floor to Blanca, Cros, coordinator of TOURBIT, to end up this conference.
So I hope now microphones are okay. Raquel? Yeah, thank you. Okay, nothing else to add. I think it was the summary. I mean, all partners were just with their insights. I think they gave us a summary of what was TOURBIT, how TOURBIT has helped SMEs, tourism SMEs, how TOURBIT has helped to the tourism ecosystem. So I think all of us, you, the SMEs here, partners, even Resetting over there, all are proud of what we are doing and how we are doing. So I only ask you to stay tuned. In the following weeks, more things will happen, or will happen. Once we finish with all the funds, we will see how to promote all this, the work that has been done. So we'll stay tuned. So last but not least, I would like to call on a stage some people that deserve a big applause, because thanks to them, this has been possible. So I call on the stage Marion, Raquel, yes, Raquel, you are there. No, Aida, where are you, Aida? Come here, come here. And Sandra, please. These people, they've been the part crucial for this. No, please, here.
No, you need to speak in the micro.
Yeah, don't worry, you've been speaking. So thank you very much. A big thanks to all the partners that are here. And if you all agree, you can stand up. Gemma, Monica, you have to come here as well. Berta, Anna, you have to be there. And you will see all the big team, the big family we have been working all these 2 years. So if somebody can take the picture, will be great. Dina. Do you think that we stand inside the picture, or we are so far? Yeah? Yeah, 100, okay. És que no sé de què parles. And the video on, please. Okay. So thank you. And you will see a video going on.
A short video is going to be played, and for the online also participants, thank you very much for joining us. We close the conference of TOURBIT. Thank you, everybody.